Hello? We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Matt. And I can't hear you in StreamYard. The people can't hear you in the chat.
Fuck.
I'm sorry.
Oh, now I got to do the whole thing over again. I got to do the whole thing over again.
I'm so fucking sorry.
I was not trying to lose super chats here. I did not know that the mic was off, man. I had to reset the mic literally right before going. That's okay. Now I see the chat and the private chat. I was trying to pimp out Ryan. I was trying to be so nice to Ryan on that one, man.
God.
Oh, that's embarrassing. That is so very embarrassing. All right, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do it again.
Okay.
I'm gonna restart. Oh man. All right. And then I'm still gonna keep this intro in, but we'll clip it out. Holy crap.
All right.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Nearly Midnight Movie Chat, where we're going to be talking about a grown man and grown women in a thruple, apparently catching the ire of Kevin Feige and other Marvel executives. This is a rumor. Of course, there's another terrible article coming from Comic Book Resources saying that the MCU should be destroyed. And of course, I clearly can't run StreamYard, and that's okay. Let's talk about it right now. Anyway, welcome everyone. You know what? Technically, all things considered, I said this thing was going to start at 10:25. It is 10:27. Even though I had that goof up in the beginning, you know what? Screw it. And still technically on time. So there we go on that one. Anyway, thank you everyone for being here tonight. It's been an interesting day. I took yesterday off because I wasn't feeling very well and I was tired. My girlfriend got the second dose of the Moderna vaccine, so she was down for the count. It kicked my ass last week, her ass yesterday and today. So I've been kind of working double, triple duty with the kids. Very tired. After that, needed to sleep. And also the mundane cat, has not come home yet. And it's now been 3 nights and he hasn't come home yet. And that is sad. We're hoping he comes home soon. And we're hoping that he comes back. Cause you know what? I mean, he's like, kind of like my best friend. So we hang out, we sleep together all the time. He's a great cat. I miss him immensely. I hope he's okay wherever he is. I hope, he's not dead yet, but we live in the woods and this is coyote season. And a year ago this month, we lost another cat. So it's kind of like an ongoing thing. So that's been the crappy part of my day. I saw that was asked of me before. Annie, are you here? You should be here.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So that was I was pouring my emotional heart out about my cat and this very nice gift I got, not knowing that there was no sound. That's very embarrassing. But then before we get into that one here, let me bring this up once again. This was very generously sent to me, the Gravity Falls complete series from Ryan Hartwell, who is a very active viewer here on the chat, a very nice guy, also in the Discord. And I'm looking forward to diving in. The show is set in the Northwest. I am from the Pacific Northwest. I was born and raised in Oregon, and it has Kristen Shaw is one of the voices, and I'm looking forward to finishing this because I never actually finished the show. Have you ever watched Gravity Falls?
Oh, I love that show. It's fucking amazing. I think you'll enjoy it.
Oh no, I've seen like a number of episodes, right?
Oh, okay.
Like I remember, like I went to the panel at Comic-Con when they first announced it, because they announced that I think like the same year they announced Bob's Burgers.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah. Because I was in 2010 Comic-Con. I went to the Bob's Burger panel. And that's where I saw the first 11 minutes of Bob's Burgers. And I think they announced Gravity Falls because Kristen Shaw was on both panels. Mm-hmm. And so I'm a big Kristen Shaw fan. And so, I'm very, so I remember seeing it. I just never watched the whole thing. I do know there's a solid Rick and Morty connection. Never mind, Justin Roiland is in a number of episodes as a voice. I mean, and you can easily tell it's him. His vocal range is really not the greatest.
Yeah.
Then again, look at Kristen Shaw. She literally uses the same voice for, was it Gretchen? Is that her name? Gretchen in this one? The sister?
Yes.
Yeah, right. So it's and then Louise on Bob's Burgers, and then also Trixie in the Toy Story franchise.
That's true.
Never mind everything else she's done voice work for. She sounds identical, and you don't care. You just don't care. So yeah, I really love the show from what I've seen. He sent me there's some cryptogram stuff that takes place in the show, and Ryan actually wrote out like a cryptogram for me to decipher in the letter. So he gave me homework. So he sent me a gift
Wow.
that, very nice. And then he also assigned me homework essentially. So that's pretty funny. But I'm very thankful for that. I look forward to watching it and get my kids into it, because I think my daughter would really like it. Because we watch Bob's Burgers basically every night over dinner, and I might need to try to transition them to something that's not as raunchy. In the first seasons of Bob's Burgers, the show is more raunchy than you might think. There's a store in the background you see that's across the street from Bob's Burgers, and it's called the Petal File. It's a flower shop.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, and they make jokes. They make jokes about like child predators and like molestation and all sorts of shit. And like the first season of that show was a lot more raunchy and a lot more akin to kind of like South Park, Family Guy kind of humor versus what it is now. And I love the show all the way through, but going back and rewatching the first seasons again, because I generally tend to watch it on a loop, it's one of those things where it's like you catch these little jokes that have like slipped over my head over the years. And it's like the things that they were getting away with back then, is just like, holy crap. Okay.
It makes sense that the earlier seasons would be like that, because keep in mind that was at a time where pretty much all adult animation, at least on the mainstream, it was all just Family Guy-esque humor. You know what I mean? It was all like really edgy jokes and shit like that. Seems like the show's evolved into something a little bit different and more unique, and that's good. But I could definitely see, like, especially like back in 2010, no one was willing to actually do like adult animation that wasn't just the Family Guy style.
Yeah, yeah. And then the thing is though, like them also coming off the Archer show was like, because H. John Benjamin was so popular during Archer at that time as well, that I think they really wanted to play into that kind of more risque humor. And you could tell it was kind of also meant to be a bit of like an in-between of Family Guy and The Simpsons in regards to that. And
Yeah.
part of me wishes that they would go back to that kind of more like racy, raunchier humor, because it's actually really funny to see. And the thing is, watching the episodes now, they do it, but they do it in a far greater subtle fashion, or far more subtle fashion. And so as a result of that, it ends up being a bit layered, and you got to like kind of think about it sometimes, which I really like. So the show is exceptionally smart. It's exceptionally quick-witted. And I love the whole cast, but what cracks me up the most about it is the fact that when they had the controversy over who can voice who, what character and whatnot, right?
Oh yeah, like with the Cleveland Brown shit, I remember that.
Yeah, right. Well, so and then there's recently something else happened. They said like, oh, like like a non-white character voicing a non-white, or a white actor voicing a non-white character, even one that's biracial, was a big thing. And the people behind Bob's Burgers were like, hey, listen, we have a trans character named Marshmallow, who was voiced by a man, and then they want to now replace Marshmallow's voice with that of a trans identifying individual, which is fine. But if you look at the show, Linda, Tina, and a lot of the other female characters are voiced by men, not gay men, not female identifying men, right? Or whatever the term is, trans men, or you know what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
It's not that at all. And yet that was never brought up in the conversation. Now, for one, I love the voice cast, and they would never get rid of the voice cast because that would be a thing. But in regards to like The Simpsons and Hank Azaria not doing, what's it called? Apu anymore and all that stuff, you figure like they're surface leveling it, right? A character that's popped up a handful of times over 11 seasons. They're like, oh no, we're gonna get the right voice actor for this character. We're gonna get the right voice actor. Our bad for being culturally insensitive. Never mind the fact that literally almost every other female character is voiced by a man. In the show.
And not to mention that, like a lot of fucking characters in like anime, especially like younger males, they're voiced by women. So. Yeah. There's a reason for that, by the way. Like it's because like those voice actors, they get older and their voice changes. They can't always be.
Listen to The Simpsons now. Listen to The Simpsons now. It's terrible. They should have canceled it like 15 years ago. Like, and I'm a Simpsons fan, and I'll say that, but it's like the voices now are pretty bad.
Have you heard Marge? So, that's the worst of them all. It's like it does not sound like Marge anymore.
Well,
like
Julie Nat Kavner, I think, was a smoker, so it's just that will take a really big impact on the voice. Dan Castellaneta still sounds pretty good, although Homer does sound a bit rougher. Bart, Nancy Cartwright is Bart. I mean, still roughly sounds the same.
I know they're all trying their best, but
yeah, but there's money. Like Nancy Cartwright came under fire a couple of years ago because she gave $10 million to the Church of Scientology. She's a fucking Scientologist, man. That shit
wait. Have you ever heard those fucking, like, she's done calls before, like, as Bart Simpson trying to advertise Scientology. Have I ever shown you that shit?
No. No. That is no.
Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find it.
Like, hi, I'm Bart Simpson. Have you heard of your Lord and Savior Xenu?
Yes,
like,
actually, that's how. Yes, that's.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Do the Bartman, but it's like, do the E-meter. God damn, that's frightening. Anyway, I did miss, unfortunately, because of the kerfuffle and the way the chat here is, I missed 2 super chats from HBarts. I know the first one was "Don't poke the bear," obviously referring to the thing with Ray Fisher from the other night. And then he also said that he might have COVID because someone at his work is an idiot. I really hope you don't have COVID, man. I really hope you don't have COVID. I hope everything's all well. And so hold on, I got the spelling wrong in the title. What did I screw up in the title of? I don't really care at this point.
God damn.
Oh yeah, I spelled destroyed wrong. I was in a hurry. I can't fix it now because we're live. I'll fix it oh no, maybe it did work. Okay, cool. I'll fix it later. That's all good. And then also HBarts here does say, so update on my job. They are investigating the slushy shooting instead of the termination right then and there. Oh, I mean, like, I remember you meant, the woman like made threats over the shooting because she didn't get a slushy.
Jesus Christ.
So wait, hold on. So they're investigating her being like her not getting the slushy, and instead of her threatening to shoot everybody, is you gotta fill me in on that one, man. That's good. Real quick here, Garrick does ask the question: Bob's Burgers or F is for Family? Fuck, that's a hard question, dude. F is for Family is my favorite animated show. That show is perfection. Bob's is right up there. There's just a lot more of Bob's Burgers than there is of F is for Family. 4 seasons, 30 episodes on F is for Family. 11 seasons at like over 200 episodes. You know what I mean? Like quality, and the quality is there. Man. The quality is definitely there. And then Ryan here says, "You're very welcome, Matt. Keep your eyes open for any clues. I know you're good at that kind of stuff." Yeah, I get OCD on that kind of shit. So I'll definitely be sitting there and be looking for the cryptogram stuff, because I like that kind of. I saw you mention the Caesar cipher, which I always enjoy as well. So thank you very much. Geeks here is asking, when is the Bob's Burger movie? It should have been out, like, I don't know, last year. It was delayed, and then they haven't. I mean, look, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Bob's Burgers, the movie, ends up going to like Disney Plus or going to Hulu. I think the show is popular enough to put it in theaters, but I think Disney right now with animation is not really wanting to go that route. I mean, look at Raya, look at Luca and Onward and Soul. Their animated stuff is going to Disney Plus, and Bob's Burgers, I think they should put it in theaters. I want to see it in theaters. That's where I want to see that movie. All right. So
I sent you the video, by the way. It's like a minute long.
Oh God. Oh my God. All right. Yeah. We'll
take a quick look at that.
This is wow. This is from a couple years. This is from a long time ago as well. Okay. Yeah. Hold on. Let me just bring this up, and then we'll get into the Taika stuff. Because I see people getting all kind of, one little bitch getting antsy about it in the chat.
Whoa!
No, it's one guy. It's that Batman Superman guy that gets really upset that I banned his accounts, and so he's over here like, going like, "You're never gonna be like John Campea or Grace Randolph." And this is the guy that says he's not a simp for Grace Randolph and never minds that he pays her a monthly fee just to talk to her. I
hope I never end up like Grace Randolph.
Man, I don't know. I mean, she does pretty good. But yeah, I see your whole point. All right. Sure, let's make sure this is up. Okay.
Hey, what's happening, man? This is Bart Simpson. Just kidding. Don't hang up. This is Nancy Cartwright, and this is a very special phone call to you. I'm now auditing on new OT7 and have been asked to speak at the Flag World Tour event on January 31st in the Grand Ballroom at the Hollywood and Highland Center at 6:30 p.m. It's going to be a blast, man. I will be there to share my many wins as a solo NOS auditor and to see the Golden Era film presentation of Flag, the Mecca of Technical Perfection. I hope you can make it, man. To confirmed for the flag event, please call us back at 888-841-7131. That's 888-841-7131. See you there, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Holy crap, man. All right. So Hollywood and Highland is roughly where I was living not far from Hollywood and Highland when I was in LA. And that's, yeah, it's a nice area. Well, no, sorry. Actually, Hollywood and Highland's kind of shitty. I was thinking of something else. Hollywood and Highland is like right next. I've actually watched a woman take a piss on the side of the road in the middle of the day. Yeah. So this is true. I was leaving former presidential candidate Marianne Williamson's condo where I just shot some footage of her. And I'm driving home. It's like 2 p.m. on a Thursday. I'm on the corner of Hollywood and Highland. I'm right next to like Mel's Drive-In. And like I look over, right? And like I'm eye level with this woman, this homeless woman, and she's like she's dressed all in black. And then she walks over to this tree and she just like, shimmies down her pants and squats and pisses right there. And I'm like fucking eyeline with her, dude. I'm eyeline with her. This is 2 p.m. in the afternoon on a Thursday, and it was bright and sunny because it's Los Angeles, and then she got up and she just kind of pimped on like no one knew. Her and I knew. I don't know if she saw me. I don't know what, but her and I knew that she was peeing on the sidewalk in the middle of the day. And this this wasn't like some guy like whipping out like fire hose and that shit in the corner. She was legitimately like she was against the palm tree, but it was like at the edge of the curb. It wasn't like behind anything. It was, it was, women can be in and out pretty quick on that front, right? They can just squat and be done. So that she's very good at stealth pissing, but I'll never forget that moment. Cause it's like, I'm like, this is LA. At that moment, I'm like, this is LA. This is where I'm at. God damn, I love this city. And, that area is kind of shitty. That area is kind of shitty.
I just want to point out, like, I don't think you could comprehend what you just listened to. So you just had to, like, run into a story about some woman pissing.
I'm saying it's LA. I am saying it's LA. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's Los Angeles. You never know what you're going to expect. Whether it's going to be like, a random celebrity encounter somewhere, or it's going to be a homeless woman pissing in the center of the road, like, on a Thursday in broad daylight. Like you never know what you're going to get when you're in LA. And that's part of the fun of living in Los Angeles. That really is, because like you just see crazy shit. Like I once saw like this gang of young, I'm pretty sure they were Latina. But when I say gang, I mean like they were all dressed in red, right? It was very, very, very. My girlfriend and I got onto the subway with them. It was only us and them in the car, and they got into it with a homeless guy. Like beforehand, they were mocking the homeless guy from inside the subway car. Well, the homeless dude ran up, like just like and like starts like pounding and thrashing on the window, and like spider webs the window and shit. From outside as they're taunting him, and my girlfriend and I are like, fuck, we're gonna die. Like someone's gonna, like, you never know what's gonna happen. Like when you're sitting there, you get into some weird situations. I mean, I've been to parties where like these are like web series people, like the Schmoey Yoho guys were there, like Auto Tune the News, but like when they were blowing up, and like we're hanging out with all these web series people, and like someone's like, hey, you wanna go do a bump in the bathroom? Like we're literally at this party and people are offering us cocaine. And here comes the actor Kevin Pollak. I mean, I'm sure he wasn't doing cocaine. I don't know, maybe. Who knows? But like really at that moment in time, it was just flat out like
two crazy things at once.
It was LA. LA is like that. You get this kind of weird experience in Los Angeles where it's like there's money and there's drugs and there's power and there's poverty and there's heat, and it's a weird mixture of 4.4 million people, at least when I was there, and crazy things happen. And that's part of the fun, to be fair. So I miss LA. I was asked the other day, do you miss living in Los Angeles? I'm like, every day, dude. Every day.
You got a 2-parter super chat.
Oh, I see it here. All right. So real quick here, just to catch up. H Bart's here. It says they are investigating it right now. I thought that was saying you wanted to shoot up your work was a termination immediately. Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, like I was fired from a casino job when I was 19. And the reason why I was fired from the job was because there was a school shooting in the area, like literally like a week before. And I was talking with what I thought was one of my friends. And there was another girl who worked there who had stolen my backpack. I gave her a ride home, her and her friends. They stole my backpack out of the car. And that had all my notes. And as a result of because I had moved to the school the last 4 months of my senior year. Right. So I was like trying to graduate. And as a result of that, I didn't have my notes. I couldn't get them made up. And I ended up failing one of my classes. I had to go to summer school for it. So I missed my graduation. I was very pissed about that. So when I found out that she was working at the same casino I was, and I saw her one morning, I called her like some words, I was venting my anger with her, nothing threatening. But the guy who I was with was like, I guess he was a supervisor in her department. And so he actually like reported me to HR for like venting my frustration. Whatever. I ended up getting let go. Funny thing was I ran into this guy like about 6 months later after I was let go. And, like I was like, oh, hey, what's up, man? Like, I'm like, hey, heard you were the reason why I got fucking fired, and I had like about 3 of my friends with me. And we all kind of walked up on this guy. I'm not an intimidating dude, but when I got 3 dudes with me, this guy freaked out. This guy freaked out and like, oh, no, man, no, and I'm like, whatever, dude. I had another job at that point in time. I was much happier than working. Working at a casino is just, it's very debilitating, by the way. Working at it's very like, it's a soul sucking job. When you watch people just breeze through or blow through all the money they're ever going to have in like 30 minutes at a slot machine,
and you can't tell them no.
You can't tell them no. Yeah, you can't tell them no. And so you gotta be careful on that stuff. So that's a big issue with that. I thought that was pretty funny. But I was also I was like 19. So I was a cocky fuck. I'm a cocky fuck now. Not as cocky. I've grown, I've matured, but back then I was a cocky fuck when I wanted to be. And so that's kind of the issue here. Real quick. World News Media says, so glad you're streaming today. I'm going through a hard time recently. Hey man, sorry to hear that. If this brings you any joy, you're welcome. And I appreciate you being here too. So thank you very much. James, yeah, we'll do a call in here in a little bit. Okay. We'll do it here in a little bit. Okay. So let's go through here. All right. H Bart's here with another $5. It says, remember Batman Superman idea for pregnant serial killer? Oh, did he have that idea or did I have that? I forget. I remember kind of the idea. Well,
what? You can't just say that out of context.
No, well, there was context from a couple of weeks ago. I slightly remember. I'm going to need a bit more of a refresher on that one. Was he talking about a pregnant serial killer movie or was I joking about a pregnant serial killer movie? Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying like, like a pregnant lady on hormones, like just goes off the handle and like gets revenge.
On what, society?
Sure.
Maybe that could be the Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah, egg sandwich. This is what it's called.
Oh no!
Egg sandwich.
Don't bring up that film.
Egg sandwich cream pie.
Oh, that's gross.
That's the Joker's into cream pies. Let's be fair. He's it. Come on. Come on. Do you really think that like anything with that guy's going to be vanilla? No.
That's true. Yeah,
he's probably all about the cream pie. He's just like, let me put a straw on that thing.
You just said that. Actually, I can, but
yeah, like come on, man. Come on. That's like what? There's like it's almost 11 o'clock Pacific Standard on a Saturday night. I'm at nearly midnight exactly. H Bart's here, another $5 says so the reason I might have COVID is because one of our new PA, which is the second in command, had COVID for 2 weeks and then tested negative. And this is part 1. And then he says part 2, but came back to work still coughing and having breathing problems, and a lot of my coworkers felt uncomfortable working with someone who could still be infected. Yeah, and that's an issue. Like that should be talked, that should be looked into. And this is why I'm just saying, this is exactly why if there ever was like a zombie outbreak in this country, so many fucking people would get it. So many fucking people would get sick and we turn into zombies. They'd be like, what do you mean social distance? No, it's fine. It's fine. Look at that guy right there. He's fine. He's a little sweaty, but you know what? He's getting the work done.
I think COVID would have been a lot less of an issue if it wasn't like politicized by Mr. Donald Trump.
Oh, well, I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, you know. I mean,
hopefully they won't politicize the zombie apocalypse, you know.
Well, I mean, if they do, you know, yeah. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? Like, you know, all the doomsdayers are coming out going like, we've been calling this one for years. Out here, we've been training up here in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. I don't know, a Michigander accent. I don't know if there is such a thing. You know, and then you're going to get like the cult of Cthulhu is going to just like magically show up down in Louisiana and be like, we called it too. That would be the one I think I'd probably get behind. Like if all of a sudden the cult of Cthulhu showed up and they were like, listen, like it's real. Elder gods, all this shit. And like, you know what could fight zombies? Cthulhu. Like Cthulhu could fight and destroy the zombies.
That's a lot of
tentacles. And then it's like a lot of, you know, just blowing it all up and shit. You're like, all right, yeah, cool, man. Like I could worship that thing because at least that's a deity I could see, right? Like if you want to, I'm just saying, if you want me to worship your deity, prove he exists. She exists. They exist. And you know, if it's like, prove it. And then you know what, you got me for life at that point because then I can see it and I can believe it. But preferably Cthulhu. Because if we're going to do the end times here, why not have it be a gigantic tentacle creature, you know? I mean, like something that's going to just come out of like the depths of like the earth and start to destroy shit, like Godzilla, but only cooler because he can fucking fly. But the atomic breath, could we get that movie made? Could we do a Godzilla versus Cthulhu fan film?
Oh shit, that's a good idea, actually.
That'd be kind of funny. Yeah, it's like
unironically, yeah.
Unironically, it'd be kind of cool because if you think about it, right? Because clearly Godzilla would be the good guy because Cthulhu is never revered as like, you know, an all-loving deity. It's kind of meant to represent like the end of times. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, bring out Godzilla, bring up Cthulhu, let them fight. It might be better than Godzilla v Kong, which I did enjoy, but you know, still. But anyway, thank you very much for that one, dude. Okay, I'm just trying to get through. Okay, part 3. Part three. This is turning into a massive story here. All right. So, infected. All right. But our front office let them pass without getting retested and pretty much said, don't bring it up again or you're fired. Now I see why you want to come out and like talk about your work, dude. Like, I kind of feel like, yeah, it's like that Tyson chicken situation where they're like, the executives are looking down at the product line. You know, and they're like, well, let's see who could get COVID. I bet you 5 people get this week, 2 might die. They were like literally betting on their employees getting sick and potentially kicking the bucket. Like these are executives at Tyson who know like right now they're going to be a boom in sales and they're forcing people to work and they're like, no, you might get sick and we might get profits.
But that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, let's, why don't we, catch up on everything here. All right. Okay. All right. Let me just bring up this Taika shit. All right. So this Taika thing has caught my eye the other day and I didn't really care much about it because I thought it was I'm like, we're talking about, you know, people who live their life and they are adults and they want to do what they want to do, right? They want to do what they want to do. It's not a big deal, you know? So apparently Marvel bosses are reportedly unhappy over viral Taika Waititi, Tessa Thompson, and Rita Ora photos. Now, these photos, if you guys haven't seen, I did put them together in a bit of a collage just to give you guys an idea of these are the viral photos here. This
Can you
is
explain like what's wrong with this? Is it because he's with 2 women?
Well, okay. So generally speaking, the answer I would say that them being with 2 women is like no, if that's not the problem, if you want my honest opinion. The problem, if it does exist, is that he's with a subordinate. Because Tessa Thompson plays Valkyrie.
Oh, okay.
So she was Valkyrie in Thor Ragnarok, and she's going to be Valkyrie in Thor Love and Thunder. And clearly, you know what I mean? Like that might be something that is considered to be a big ass no-no is don't do that. That's a terrible thing to do. Don't do that kind of shit. And I get that. Right. So that could be one of the things. I know Ryan Hart was like, that's it. But again, it's the issue of the potential impropriety. But the thing is, a lot of people on social media were like, oh my God, I'm all for this. Like, I never knew I wanted to see this thruple happen. Like, what are they, you think they're going to put out like a homemade porno for you to watch? Like, is it going to be like, like Thor's hammer, Taika Waititi edition, Rel here, $5 super chat. Taika's living the life fire. Yeah. I'm with you on that one, dude.
Look, I'm not going to deny that there's a chance that there could be something sus here, but it just seems like three consenting adults having a fun time.
Well, that's kind of the issue. That's the whole issue here, right? Like, so why are they upset? Well, according to this, and this is all I could really find, it says here, Marvel bosses were reportedly unimpressed with the recent photos of Taika with Rita and Tessa. Last week, they all made headlines, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is, here it is, Taika is currently filming the highly anticipated sequel. Now, that movie just wrapped up production like today or yesterday. So while the movie was most likely over, by I'd say most standards, when those pictures were taken, it was still technically being shot. So that's kind of showing like the director and one of the stars of the movie in a position where one could argue that like he has that power dynamic over her. Never mind. I don't think anyone would be able to hold Tessa Thompson like that, if you want my honest opinion.
Wow. Fair.
Now, according to the Daily Telegraph here, Marvel bosses have reportedly reprimanded the Kiwi filmmaker for the photograph. But I can't go and read more on this here because literally like the article is just like it's behind a paywall and I can't bring it up.
Oh, fuck that. I hate that shit.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, bring up a proxy. Now, according to the insider close to the production, says that the behavior exhibited in the photo is not exactly the image they're looking to project into relation to one of their biggest franchises. First and foremost, like, come on. Thor took a little bit of time to get to be one of those bigger franchises.
Yeah. Also, Thor Ragnarok, that was a movie all about having fun. It seems like these are just three people having a fun time, honestly.
Yeah. And so they're just like, look, these are consenting adults. I mean, we don't see, bringing up the image again here for, we see Rita and Tessa, kissing. We don't know. They're joking around. They've got mimosas or some kind of drink. And yeah, she's kissing him right there, but we don't see Tessa kissing Taika, right? So if Tessa kissed Taika, that'd be a little bit on the different side, only because then you would see visually that power dynamic would be something, right? You would have a visual representation of that. But I guess they said here that the 45-year-old director has a reputation for being a party animal, and those crossed the line. Again, wow, having a couple drinks, hanging out. Some, we don't know if that was a fun kiss or a romantic kiss or a sensual kiss. Who cares? And that's the whole point. Like, this situation is one of those ones that, again, when it first came out, I'm all like, who gives a shit? And then now I'm like, even more who gives a shit. But apparently, this is news, because people were like, I think what it is like people were like wanting it to be this thing,
Of course, yeah. They want this to be the next James Gunn situation. That's what they want.
It's not. I think people are asking if it's going to be the next James Gunn situation, to be honest with you. I've seen that from like Garrick in the chat asking if this is going to be the next James Gunn thing. It's not, because this is just them having, James Gunn was making comments in 2012. Gina Carano was making comments, well, up until when she was let go. But I think the decision to let her go had already happened at that point, simply because she doesn't know what she's talking about ever. So there's that. And, but in this situation, like, look, everyone's a consenting adult. We don't know quite what the situation is. Is it any of our business to care what's going on with them? Is it any of Marvel's business to care what's going on with them? And I think, the answer is really no, right? To like all of that. But the thing with Marvel, though, is they don't want there to be like a scandal. That's what they don't want. They don't want there to be something that's going to blow up like James Gunn or blow up like Gina Carano. But the internet is not like, ew, two girls kissing. The internet's like, can we get photos? And I'm talking like 4K, completely insanely high resolution scissor pics, right? Can we crowdfund a Scissor Me Timbers calendar or something? Like, that's kind of what they're after right now. They're not freaking out about it. They literally just want to watch these two women and this dude get it on.
Yeah.
That's really what it boils down to. It's like, this is a bunch of horny on main shit, not like a recoiling in disgust from what James Gunn has said or questioning a person's sanity in regards to what Gina Carano has said.
I feel like this is like a nothing article, another fucking clickbait headline. It's really fucking popular when it comes to movies and films.
There's not much going on today.
Like, wait, no, I'm not criticizing you. I'm criticizing the people who made the article.
No, I get it. But I like the thumbnail. I like the thumbnail.
Good. It's good.
It's
important to have this discussion too. It's really important to have this discussion about like how journalism can be very misleading.
Yeah, and I'm not a journalist, so people can like go after themselves. I get that a lot. Like, you're not a real journalist, man. Yeah, neither is like most of the pundits that talk about movies on YouTube. You know,
the show's having a fun time. You know.
Yeah, it's just having a laugh. But this article here, this is the other part of this was what I think got people kind of mad when I was like getting ready to like post this thing, because there's where the hell is it here? Okay, hold on. All right. So I came across this article today on Comic Book Resources, CBR. This is the stupidest goddamn thing. This is the definition of a clickbait headline. This is the definition of a clickbait headline. The Marvel Cinematic Universe must die. And you're like, what? And like, oh, the Marvel Cinematic Universe represents one of cinema's greatest feats of world building and epic storytelling. Now it's time to destroy it. Yeah. And when they're at the height of the game and they're making over $1 billion a picture and everyone's making a lot of money.
And none of the fans are really complaining.
Yeah. I mean, like, this isn't like the DC side of things where, that's just a nightmare in and of itself. But the article, the article is stupid. All right. I just wanted to kind of it's clearly clickbait. Okay. He recaps the 23 films. Yes, we all know about the 23 films. All right. And he's like, oh, in the world of the comics where the MCU draws its inspiration, occasional continuity reboots are fairly commonplace, but this isn't a comic book. This isn't a book series. This is a movie series. The continuity is actually part of that key. The continuity is why people care. You start to mess with the continuity, you are playing with fire in a tinderbox, and it can destroy you in a heartbeat, not make you stronger. I'm sorry. This is why the multiverse theory that they want to do over at DC makes no sense. You cannot juggle that many things. They have tried on the Arrowverse, and it's in my mind degraded the quality of that content exceptionally, because it's just like they haven't been able to do it. Berlanti is not Kevin Feige. But anyway, you know what here? All right, where's it? All right, so it says here, with the MCU in a post-blip state of uncertainty, and projects like WandaVision and the upcoming Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness opening the door to reality-bending story possibilities, a Secret Wars-style reboot could help solidify the status of the MCU, as in the comic story arc. Marvel could explore the destruction of the entire multiverse with a new reality emerging from the ashes. Such a storyline may necessitate the annihilation of the current MCU to pave way for the new cinematic universe, utilizing the same beloved cast, but without the story baggage from years of history. See, that's why I hate that right there. Without the story baggage from years of history. But that's years of history that we've all experienced together. That is history that's common. That is a common thread. That is what brings the people together. Is that this is why it becomes must-see TV. Okay. And then I love this here, which can be off-putting to new viewers. Fuck you. Those viewers are going to go back and watch the old stuff. Yep. Those viewers are going to go back and watch the old stuff. This is not like it's like the X-Men sort of thing, right? Like where now the new continuity with whatever X-Men we're going to get, those are going to be the ones that, you're not going to have to, like there's no history. It's going to be new. But going back to the Fox side of things, you can watch all of those movies that lasted nearly 20 years and see all that continuity. And now that's its own thing. That's where that's in its own little bubble. And they're
introducing new heroes and a new set of heroes with these Disney Plus series, especially like we just got our new Captain America. We're going to be getting like Miss Marvel and all these new heroes that are going to be appealing to new people. And that's the thing. Like you shouldn't just throw out the fucking baby with the bathwater. Don't throw out this great fucking history, because look, I'm 23 years old right now, and I went to fucking see Iron Man in theaters when I was 10 years old, and I've been with the MCU ever since. That's something special. You don't just take that away. Not for no fucking reason. That's ridiculous.
Well, no, that's exactly, that's the whole point. That's the whole damn point is when the history is what drives the audience. It's like, I can remember, when you talk to people, they go, oh, like Robert Downey Jr., improvised the I am Iron Man line, therefore kicking off the MCU. Or even the whole thing with trying to get Sam Jackson to come on to do the Avengers Initiative. All of that stuff has a place and it has a history and it's something that people out there like. And so to say this is off-putting to new viewers, nah, fuck you, bitch, read a book. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, it's like, that'd be saying like, oh, well, we're going to reinvent Lord of the Rings because, like The Hobbit, man. Like The Hobbit is going to be off-putting to new people. We want to make it more streamlined or something along those lines. This is where this kind of article speaks to the idiocy of the viewer, which look, in many cases, I would probably agree with some of that because people don't pay attention. But this whole thing is laid out so you very easily pay attention and you very easily can pick up on the plot threads. Even today, my girlfriend, we're looking through Disney Plus for something for the kids to watch. The WandaVision little thing pops up and she just goes, man, I really wish there was more WandaVision. I would love to watch more episodes of that. And she hasn't even really watched all of the older Marvel content, but she knows WandaVision and she likes WandaVision. So she would love to see more in that. And I'm like, well, Doctor Strange comes out next year. She's like, okay, cool. So a lot of people like, they can come in and go, but they're also willing to go back and look at what's there because they trust the property. That's the other side of this. They trust the property. So if it was terrible, like the way DC's handled stuff, then this is going to be totally different. So anyway, so anyway, it says here, this affords Marvel the freedom to reinvent characters, redefine their relationships to one another, and redesign a universe in a way that better allows them to tell stories without a new generation of characters. But this is again the whole point. Going back to Iron Man is not something that anyone is asking for. Captain America is kind of the same way. We got Sam Wilson. Guess what? The overall response was, oh, hell yeah, dude, I love Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
Like, let's totally do it. Like, and they gave us a show to solidify his place. And never mind, what I loved about the show was that it also showed his internal conflict at picking up the mantle of not wanting to do it because he wasn't trying to rush into it. He didn't take the super soldier serum. He doesn't want any of that. So he's a totally different character, but he's earned the moniker. And his journey is a journey that fans have gone with. Should we just recast him now as just Captain America proper and get rid of all of Sam Wilson's storyline going back to 2014's Winter Soldier? No, of course not, because that shows the growth of character. It's an infuriating article.
That's what made him earn that mantle, is that all that history that we've been through since we're introduced to that character in the Winter Soldier, like all of that, everything in those movies since. That's what earned him the mantle of Captain America. So just pull that all away. It's like you're pulling away you are pulling away everything about the fucking character that we like.
Just to like, because, oh, well, they could tell the same story again, but this time with different actors. It's like, no. They're treating this like it's an ongoing series, but there's actually going to be growth, with the stuff like that. Why? Okay. As for Iron Man, they're doing Ironheart. They're doing Riri Williams, and that's going to be a bit of a tough sell because not everyone likes Riri Williams. They felt that the character was kind of dumb. But you know what? Just like Miss Marvel and like Miles Morales, you're going to be getting these kind of, these newer characters that are going to be different in regards to their ethnicity, but they've also built up their own fan base, and that's going to be able to come on in and it's going to showcase representation, which is a good thing, without going in and, basically just kind of like race swapping somebody for the sake of doing it, which they might do in some cases and they have done, but it's like but there seems to be a purpose behind it rather than just we're trying to check off these woke boxes and that they know those people don't buy the product.
Oh, I just remembered we're getting female Thor. Do you think Natalie Portman will do okay?
Well, the thing is though, the Mighty Thor storyline has already existed.
Yes. And
so really it's confusing and it's a bit frustrating and like, I haven't read it, so I can't fully speak to it, but like I remember when they first announced it and I remember going like, what? Because like the thing is like it's the whole issue with the Thor name. That's the problem, because Thor, he loses like the one name moniker and he ends up just going to being Thor Odinson. Right. Yep. And then she becomes Thor because she's wielding Mjolnir and I forget who says what to him. I think no, I think it was Nick Fury says to Thor in the comic, like, just whispers, "You're not worthy," in his ear, and like that just gets him to be not worthy. Apparently, like somehow Nick Fury can go up to Thor and go like, "Yeah, you're not worthy," and then that's like all he needs to hear in order for it to all go away. But I would say that they would need to do something a bit different because Thor has proven himself to be worthy time and time and time again, especially in Endgame. Especially in Endgame when he goes back to Asgard and he's with his mom. And I love that scene, by the way. And he's like, wait, hold on, one thing. And he's like, I'm still worthy. Just the joy look on his face. And the mom's like, you were always worthy. Like doing the mom thing because Rene Russo is GOAT. And it's like, we have that emotional connection with Thor. If you really go back and you look at it, the Thor trilogy is not Thor 1, 2, and 3. It's Ragnarok, Endgame, and Infinity War.
Yes,
that's the Thor trilogy.
That's his arc.
That's his arc. And it is a beautiful, wonderful arc. And I love it. So it's like you get all that right there, all of that emotion, all of the depression and despair from losing his brother and his mother and his father and his everything to like finally feeling like he is worthy again. And then at the end of it, he goes off with the Guardians because he's feeling, I'm hoping they give us an Asgardians of the Galaxy storyline. That would be pretty cool. But again, Thor has a character arc that is wonderful in those movies. And it's to take that away with his fourth entry, they're going to have to handle it really well because that is my biggest trepidation with it.
I don't think they're going to take it away. I think they're both going to be Thor. I think they're going to find a way for them to both somehow be Thor because, I don't think they're going to take away that character's mantle after everything he's done to work for it. Also, it's going to have to be different, right? Because when fucking Captain America picked up the hammer, it's not like he turned into goddamn Thor. He was just using Thor's power.
Yeah.
So
I love that. I love that he always could wield Mjolnir. I love it.
Oh yeah, I love that too. That was in Age of Ultron. That was such a great moment.
Because it's like
yeah,
then,
exactly.
Like, at the end of Endgame, and he does. He's like, I knew it. This is what I don't get about people who like rag on the MCU. It's like if the MCU has laid out characterizations and arcs and character moments, and if you think about it, like they've done such a great job. Now I understand why an article like this is going to try to run its mouth and come up with a theory. But as we've seen here, there's really nothing here that is supporting the argument of why this whole thing should go away. It's really stupid. But I wanted to laugh at that for a quick. Okay, so quickly there is a few super chats to get to, and then we're going to get into the calls here. So we'll keep it quick on those. H Bart's here, $2 says Feige Mussolini.
You're going to keep this going, aren't you?
which I just deleted that image off of here. I had it up here. I just had it saved. If you Google Kevin Feige Mussolini, there's some stuff there. So there's that.
I'm not saying he doesn't look like Mussolini. That's all.
Yeah. And then Totaling Wolf here, Australian $5. Thank you, man. Says people are just butthurt he's having a three-way and they're not. I mean, I'll just say this. Have you ever seen season 1 of Westworld? You can see Tessa Thompson's behind. I'm just saying, you can kind of see like him going, me likey. Fuck it, they're adults. Who cares, man? You know what I mean? Look, they could release like a Pam and Tommy style sex tape, and I think like everyone would be fine with it. All right, here's kind of diving through. Ryan Hartwell here, $5 says, if Steven Spielberg were to direct the Marvel movie, what character or characters should he focus on? I think if he was going to do a Marvel movie, I would love to see him do a Magneto film, like a Magneto origin film. If they were going to go back and do the World War II thing, or maybe him being a Nazi hunter, because look, I will say this: the coolest aspect of X-Men First Class, the one thing I'd love to see them continue is that whole line of where the story arc of Magneto going to South America and hunting Nazis post World War II. That is just super cool.
Dude, that scene where he kills the Nazis and his fucking theme song starts playing, that, oh my God.
It's so such perfect. A good, like, that was perfect. I love First Class. And so I would love to see something along those lines. I think other than that, he could do like something with Captain America, with Sam Wilson, give us a political thriller. He's very good at political thrillers.
True. That'd be good.
If you've ever seen like Munich or The Post, I mean, they're different in regards to how they handle politics, but Munich is an amazing movie. Never mind Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan, but then again, his work on adventure films, my all-time favorite movie being Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean, you could see him do something with like Gambit or something. Give us a Gambit movie would be kind of cool to see, because it'd be able to really kind of immerse itself in like the, like the Cajun culture and give us more from the, New Orleans and whatever. And, really dive into that world and kind of give us this, adventure, a movie that I think would be a lot of fun. There's so much that Spielberg could do. Could we just like clone Spielberg at this point? Cause I know he's getting up there in years, and, and I would love to see more from him. All right, real quick here. I know there's a lot of stuff here. All right. H Bart's here. $5 says the stream does not have enough Zack.
We almost went one entire stream without mentioning Zack Snyder.
Look, Lightcast had Zack Snyder on tonight, so there's a whole stream with Zack Snyder talk over there. One day maybe he'll come on and talk to me. I don't think he ever will, but you know what? Yeah, sure. I mean, we're not talking much about Zack because you know what? Zack Snyder's Justice League is out, and Army of the Dead's out as well, and people are checking it out. So there we go on that one. But I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And then okay, I think that's all the super chats. All right, sorry, I just didn't want to leave anyone behind. So all right, so hold on. That worthy part was in the comics years prior. Dumb take. I don't read the comics, so I don't know.
Just because it's in the fucking comics doesn't mean it's not dumb. Comics can be stupid too. Sometimes there's things about characters that need to be updated for the modern era, and to tell a story in 2011 like they were trying to tell with the Lady Thor story, I'm sorry, but it seemed like a really convoluted and stupid idea.
Yeah, I like simple storytelling on this front because it makes it easier to follow and it brings in the normies, and the normies are going to bring the money. So, okay, let's dive into the calls. We got a decent amount of people that are back here. We'll keep it quick tonight so we don't go too long. But James here was wanting to come on in and talk about the Lionsgate situation.
Hey, man.
What's up, dude?
Okay, so basically we have a situation at Lionsgate right now where there's a rumor that they're now putting themselves up for sale because of the disappointment of Spiral.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently there have been people interested. There's been Amazon Prime's obviously apparently been talking to them. Comcast talks to them. I've even heard apparently Apple might be interested.
Well,
and weirdest of all, Fox, the Net TV network, is interested in acquiring them.
We're talking the Australian Fox, right?
No, American Fox network, because you can only own, because Disney only acquired the film
they only acquired
assets.
the entertainment stuff. They never did the news stuff. They
never acquired Fox News or the Fox TV network or the Tubi streaming service.
Okay. I thought they did get Fox Television, but okay.
No, they got the Fox Animation Studios and they got their back catalog, but they didn't get the television station because the FCC blocked it.
All right. So that's why they're still paying Fox for the or whatever their licensing rights are to put everything up there. So I mean, look, the thing with Lionsgate is like we've talked about before, they haven't had much in regards to like a hit franchise outside of John Wick in the last couple of years.
They did do Hitman's Bodyguard, but
and the true, and that came out in 2017. And the thing with that though is that leaked on Netflix early. Did you know about that?
Yep.
It like leaked out.
Yeah,
Netflix Japan put it up accidentally for a couple hours, and people were able to get their hands on it. So a 1080p copy of that movie was floating around like a week or two after that thing hit theaters.
Damn. Yeah.
So yeah. I'm not saying that's how I saw it, but I'm saying I just knew it existed.
Yeah.
I want to take a quick look. Okay, so you're saying here like Spiral had a $20 million budget and it's done $24.6 million so far, which is not great, but it's like not we're also at a different time period.
It's
Spiral,
a loss.
I think. But we also
how you slice it, they lost money, and
everyone who's making money right now? Who's making money right now?
They expected a $25 million opening weekend. That is bad.
All right, let's see here.
They were expecting like insane opening weekend. They thought this would be the soft reboot of the franchise. They thought this would be the next stage of Saw, and it didn't do anywhere near what they wanted it to do.
No, well, it also again, you know what? Like this is not justification for saying that the series doesn't have legs. It is just another factor of where we find ourselves. You know, I mean, Army of the Dead had a $90 million budget and it only did like, you know, a little over $1 million in theaters before going to Netflix, where it was watched by 72 million households. So it's like,
it did what
you know
Netflix wanted it to do.
Oh,
Spiral
exactly.
Didn't do what Lionsgate wanted.
No, they didn't, and that's a bad thing. I think had the movie come out last year, or come out on home video, they would have made the money back in rentals, because $20 million budget is not that bad. And the thing is, this movie will not be a loss at the end of the day. All right, it will not be a loss at the end of the day. The home
It'll
video
make
sales,
its money back. It'll just take longer.
It will take a little bit longer. Yeah,
yeah, and it won't be the spark they wanted, because they wanted to make like a $40 million Saw 10. Now they're having to slash that budget.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, but look at Saw 2 was like a $5 million budget or something like that, or maybe it's like a
best Saw movie.
Make a lot of. Hold on. Am I getting lost again?
Yeah.
You were cutting out for a bit there.
Okay. So we'll have to wait and see here. All right. Garrick here says that Netflix also bought the Knives Out sequels from Lionsgate. So there we go on that one. Yeah. But I mean, right now, it's John Wick is going to be what people are going to go for.
Okay. I'll try to be quick with this next thing I wanted to tell you. So I reviewed the contracts with MGM, and I found that they also acquired 3 other interesting things.
All right. What's
they
that?
acquired a stake in Trump Television, a majority stake, which gives them the rights to The Apprentice and the early seasons of Shark Tank.
Okay. Cause I'm
and any future projects.
So do you think Jeff Bezos overpaid as a fuck you to Trump?
No,
because everyone's saying that they overpaid. Everyone's talking about the valuation being like double.
Not everyone.
People
say they underpaid.
I mean, I don't. They have a vast library and whatnot, but I mean, but the thing is, look, if Jeff Bezos wants to like come out and like drop that rumored N-word tape about Trump, it's not going to matter at the end of the day. It's not going to matter at all. He's out of office. It's not going to do anything. But it's just going to be more embarrassing.
Yeah, contract 2. We have contract 2. Kevin Smith. They own a majority of Kevin Smith's company.
As well now. Of which company is that? View Askew?
It was whichever one made Clerks and Mallrats. They own a majority of that.
Okay, I mean, no, that's interesting.
Because they now own controlling stake in. They own a first look deal with Kevin Smith. They acquired Clerks 1, Clerks 2, Clerks animated series. They acquired Mallrats. All of that was included in the deal.
So basically, Kevin Smith is now going to be, for like Mallrats 2 and Clerks 3, all of that is going to potentially go to
Amazon. Because they own the rights.
That's
he
fascinating.
Doesn't own the rights. Amazon does.
That's fascinating. I think that's pretty good.
He had to sell the rights.
Well, 75 YBA here says, I think they only own Dogma, but that was Lionsgate and Artisan back in the day. That was Artisan Entertainment.
They don't own Dogma.
I don't.
I checked that.
Who owns Dogma? Who owns Dogma? Bob and Harvey Weinstein apparently own it. And they licensed it to Lionsgate.
So that means it's either owned by Lantern Entertainment or Lionsgate, depending on how the contract works 20 years later.
Well, I mean, according to Kevin Smith, August 30th of 2019, he says Dogma is personally owned by Bob and Harvey Weinstein, who bought the film from Disney in 1999 and licensed it to Lionsgate for theatrical and then Sony for home video. But those deals predated streaming and have lapsed. Bummer, as 2019 is the 20th anniversary of our release. Yeah.
I'll tell you something about Weinstein. When he got the whole court thing happened, all his assets and film stuff got bought out by a company called Lantern Entertainment. So it is possible that they own the rights.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's take a look here at Lantern Entertainment. Wow, they paid out $289 million for the for the Weinstein Company, right?
Yeah, they own all their assets.
Wow, there's a lot to dive into there, and then
Yeah.
now are they associated at all with MGM?
Lantern Entertainment? No, they're a separate company owned by a private equity firm.
Okay.
I think that what they're trying to do is they're trying to sell to like Netflix or something.
Well, that would make sense. I mean, especially right now, because that's where things are kind of going to kind of go. So, yeah, there's a lot to dive into. Honestly, not necessarily the best for a stream.
Yeah, I'll say this last thing and then I'll leave you go.
Okay.
The last thing is insane that they have. They own the rights to 2 corporate mascot characters, the film rights. They own the film rights to the Marlboro Man.
Okay.
And Harley Davidson, the talking motorcycle.
I mean, like Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man is actually a pretty fun movie. So
yeah, they own the rights to make another Marlboro Man movie.
I would. Who was in?
Marlboro Man.
No, have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard? No. This is a 1991 movie starring Mickey Rourke as Harley Davidson and Don Johnson as the Marlboro Man. Yeah.
Like,
and
isn't like the fucking cigarette place?
It's
Yep.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Here, I'll bring up a.
Was this like the original food fight or something?
No, I don't remember how this thing came to be, but it's like
flopped,
it is.
Though.
Oh no, it definitely. I saw it on like cable. I saw it on cable when it came out. But yeah,
Might
this
as well
thing.
have gotten fucking Joe Camel in there.
Yeah, look at this here: Mickey Rourke, Don Johnson, Harley Davidson, and the Marlboro Man.
Wait, this is live action? I was expecting.
Yeah, it's a live.
Like
it's a live action movie, dude.
They sounded like a couple of fucking cartoon characters.
No. It's real. It's real, dog. It's real. So,
although Amazon could make a cartoon version of this movie if they wanted.
They should.
Are you kidding me? No, they're not going to do that.
They absolutely, positively should do it. 100%. 100%.
Should make a cartoon Marlboro Man movie and just wait for Congress to go ape.
Just have it not be about Marlboro. It's called the Marlboro Man, but what's it about? It's about a bundle of sticks.
Oh my god, whatever.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, Magic Mike needs its gay counterpart. Okay, so you know what? Like, let Matt Bomer actually do it the way God intended. Because Matt Bomer was in Magic Mike. Matt Bomer's also gay. So.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, like, it's like, they could all do, the whole thing could just be a bunch of dudes standing around, like, helicoptering it, right? Just like,
I was taking a drink, you bastard.
All right. Well, hey, James, I'm gonna let you go, man. I got to get through a lot more people, and we'll talk soon. Right?
Want to hear about the Kevin Smith thing.
That's fascinating stuff right there. I'm looking forward to finding out more about that. Because I agree with Cosmic Yogi here. Right. There's a lot of consolidation happening in the industry. Absolutely. It's going to be wild next couple of years. All right. Thanks a lot, buddy. Really appreciate it, dude. Thank you. All right. Real quick, I got to get some super chats here. H. Bart's here says, I'm so sick of Hollywood not adapting the Jarbo cinematic universe. It's got great potential in the industry. Yes, that's right. A loudmouth fat man from Washington talking from the woods, writing angry letters to the government. I mean, not writing angry letters to the government. But I don't know what my cinematic universe would be. It'd be pretty sad. And then Toronto Freddy here says, hey dude, not sure if you like the original Black Christmas, but there's a fantastic fan film that was released called It's Me, Billy. I do know about it. I have not seen the original, but Dave McRae, I do subscribe to him and I follow him on Twitter. I like Dave McRae quite a bit. I've been following the development of this. I need to watch it. I didn't know he released a 46-minute long movie. And apparently it's getting some good reviews. So I need to go find the original Black Christmas and watch that. Not that crappy ass 2006 remake or that crappy ass recent remake and see what he did there. Because I think Dave McRae, I like the guy quite a bit. And I want to see what he's up to. Okay, so Asher asks, did I ever do a review on the new Mortal Kombat? I actually haven't seen it yet. I missed it. Yeah, I know. All right, so let's see here. Okay. Edgar, what's up, man?
What's up, man? What's up? I heard you guys were talking about Thor and the Marvel. I don't know if it was the article you talked about a couple hours back, hinted possibility one day in the long run may reboot the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because at that point you would have your X-Men movies, you would have your new Avengers trilogy, you would have almost everything that you need to do for the boundaries of where you can go, and you literally done everything that a fan would want. So why not just do a new fresh start and just reboot it all and start it all over again? Because I mean, I'm not done. How come Batman and Superman and Spider-Man get consistently being rebooted and have been successful doing that? Why not?
Have they though?
Yeah.
Have they though?
All of those franchises have flopped. I'm sorry, but they've all flopped. None of those franchises had a good ending movie.
Whoa. Hold on.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 was terrible. Spider-Man 3 was not great.
What about Batman Begins?
And that had a trilogy, sure. And then and then Nolan wanted to leave, so they rebooted it.
Yeah, and you know what else? The Dark Knight Rises wasn't good. I'm sorry, it wasn't. It wasn't a good movie.
The fact is, Heath Ledger died, and Heath
Ledger had nothing to do with why The Dark Knight Rises was not a good movie. Heath Ledger had nothing to do with that movie at all.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, but like once you have an actor's death and once you change plans, done.
What was changed?
The only thing the plan was originally going to continue with the Joker going forward. But I'm just saying.
But still, what would have been, but having the Bane storyline and having all of that nonsense from The Dark Knight Rises had nothing to do with the Joker. The only real thing was the Scarecrow cameo, which a lot of people thought should have been Joker had he been alive.
That is true, but I'm just saying, the main topic, what I'm trying to say is like, eventually, you're going to have to reboot your universe.
No, not when you have the whole universe to pull from.
There's a whole universe.
You're telling me the end of reboots are literally that? So you're telling me...
I'm telling you, like, origin stories are going to start being a thing of the past because they're going to start doing those, introducing these characters in their own television shows or other connection shows in order to quickly move them to the movies. They just got back the X-Men characters. They're going to be working the deal with Marvel. Did you not hear yesterday that Venom is apparently going to meet up with Spider-Man here pretty soon?
Something like that. But I mean,
so it's what I keep saying is like they're not going to reboot this stuff. They're just going to pay these actors to keep playing these same roles forever.
My whole thing is like, so you're telling me we're not going to get a reboot? Because I mean, I think personally there were a lot of mistakes, in my opinion, on the trilogy on the Marvel movie universe, because I feel like either some things restricted or just they did it terribly.
Like, look, okay, I don't like the MCU adaptation of Quicksilver. I'm probably never going to get a good fucking Quicksilver.
I'm sorry, but I would rather deal with that than the Fox version that was terrible. I
like the Fox version. Actually.
Well, the Fox version was awesome. So much so that they brought him back as a gag. That was great.
Yeah, but it was contract reasons. That's another thing. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like personally, in my opinion, the long end game goal, if it takes 20 or 30 years later, it's not like I personally feel like comic books are always going to be rebooted and always reinterpreted. That's why we got so many versions of Batman.
Okay, but have you noticed one thing though? Okay, because you're right, because the DC Comics universe reboots itself constantly, but they still have the same continuity for the mainstream Marvel comics. It's still the 616 universe. That's never been rebooted. So it's actually comic accurate to keep the same continuity for a very long period of time.
I'm just looking at the end game goal on the whole Spider-Man and Marvel, and kind of looking at like, why not reboot this stuff like after 20 something years?
Then they might after 20 years. But the thing is, right now they have no reason to reboot, reason to talk about rebooting.
I'm just saying, you think this is going to be the end of Marvel, the end of reboots, and this is going to be like?
I think they're going to find ways. Like they're not going to reboot the character, as they might pull from another dimension. which I'm not a fan of, but it's like the easiest way out rather than
I
rebooting.
could see that too.
That might be,
Yeah.
because the thing is, like, if they're creating a consistent universe, which is what has been their greatest asset outside of casting, but the consistent universe, they're going to want to keep that going. They're going to play with it a couple times. Obviously, Multiverse of Madness is going to be one of those things, but they are not going to deviate away from 616, as Annie said, because that is their through line. That is the whole thing. So
Okay,
they're gonna,
I get what you're saying.
I think so. I get what you're trying to argue here, but it's like, look, Feige is going to probably like leave very, very, very specific instructions once he leaves.
Oh,
and goes,
I can definitely agree with that statement.
And you know what? It might get to a point down the road, because I think Ashura here brings up a good point, saying here that, Bob Chapek is taking the creator control back from the directors and giving it to the money people, as I believe John Campea was talking about, right?
That concerns me too.
That is a reasonable concern to have. That is a very reasonable concern to have. But at the same time, right now, this is why I said before, watch out. Iger is not going to be leaving the CEO. He's the chairman of the board, right? Because Iger was CEO and chairman of the board, so he had kind of supreme power. Mm-hmm. But Chapek is only going to be CEO, not chairman. And Iger is supposedly going to be leaving at the end of this year. I don't think Iger is going to leave. If there's trouble in paradise, he may not be able to come back as CEO, but he'll be able to still, do something from the distance and be able to have some power to combat whatever the hell Chapek might be doing that is going to be seen as bad. And that's going to be fascinating to see. But in the meantime, no one's going to mess with Marvel right now. I mean, whatever you're talking about is so down the road that it's like, we'll probably be dead by the time they get around to actually rebooting it,
Well, yeah, that's true.
So I'm not even thinking about that right now. It's not even something that I even want, we don't even have
the future. I always look at the future and the long game of going forward. I personally,
the future right now is going to be, how do we bring in X-Men? How do we bring in Fantastic Four?
That's going to be the hardest.
That's the future. That's I don't know how they're going to do it. They've got a lot of good people working on the stuff over there. They haven't let me down yet. I think Loki is going to break brains when it drops out in a few weeks.
And just to go on a little bit of the Thor topic you guys were talking about. Last time I checked, Mjolnir was destroyed. So I feel like they were going to have to reintroduce Mjolnir just to have Jane Foster become.
Well, probably.
And my biggest concern is Natalie Portman. I do not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of afraid. She might be fine. I'm kind of concerned, but no, she's definitely gonna wield Mjolnir. They even had her pick it up when they were. Remember at Comic-Con they had her.
I know that, but my biggest concern is I'm a humongous fan of that character, and I'm a humongous fan of the Thor lore. I read the older comics, and it's I'm very concerned of how they're gonna do this, because she I was not impressed at all, and I kind of find her very. And not that great of an actress. I'm sorry.
Not impressed.
I mean, that's just my opinion. Sorry for the controversial, but I mean, I personally believe it's going to take a very hard time for me to really believe, is she going to be that great as that character? But anyway, it was good talking to you. I mean, I was just kind of literally throwing that whole question. Do you think Marvel's not going to do a reboot, and might go into a little bit of the Star Wars situation where it's going to be endless opportunities of many things to come?
Other way around. Star Wars is going in the Marvel direction.
And they're all the better for it, in my opinion.
I hope so. I mean,
dude, fucking Bad Batch is awesome. Oh my god, I love that show.
I haven't watched it.
It's so good. It's at this point, you're 5 episodes in, you can marathon everything. I'd recommend marathon it.
Definitely.
But the show is now, it's starting to kind of pick up steam and get through the initial episodes. Well, I like it. I really like it. But all right, man, I'm gonna let you go. I got more people to get to, and I want to keep this thing under about the next 40 minutes or so. All right. Thank you very much. Real quick here, there are some super chats to get to. H-Bart's here says, can we get an Underhaven cinematic universe?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm actually working on a fictional universe. Stay tuned.
He is. So. Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Yeah, I've seen some of the outlines of it. It's good stuff. Rel here, $5 says Jarbo's Rogues Gallery would be better than Batman's. I don't know, man. The people who hate me are interesting, and they're degenerate. Don't get me wrong. A lot of them are pretty degenerate, but at the same time, they're kind of bumbling idiots, and it's like they would be more there's no true mastermind villain anymore. The only one I think is he's got cancer. So, and he's kind of out of the game. So it's kind of like that, you know. At this point, it'd be very fascinating. I mean, who would it be? Mecha Random 43 would be like my Solomon Grundy, you know?
Nah, we're gonna have a kayfabe like WWE style.
Oh God, no! I'm not. Come on, I'm like almost 40. I don't need a wrestling thing going on in my life.
All right, sure.
That is just terrible. Real quick though, HBart's here, another $5. Thank you, sir. It says Marvel has a lot of stories, like over 1 million to tell before a reboot is necessary. Exactly. They're just gonna they're gonna be introducing new characters and expanding out the world and the lore. And you know what? They might bring something back in occasionally, but they're only gonna do it as a tease or maybe a once in a while sort of thing. Unless all the movies just start magically dying, which everyone thought was going to happen after Endgame. It was all the people last year like, Marvel is dead. Marvel is never going to do anything ever again. I'm like, wait a minute.
Marvel's best years are ahead of it.
I'm like, and then WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier come out, and all of a sudden everyone's like, you know, the show's really good. And it kicked everything off. And now Hawkeye just wrapped up filming. That's done. You know, you've got Thor, Love and Thunder just wrapped up filming. They've got Miss Marvel wrapped up not too long ago. And Loki premieres in a couple weeks. And What If is supposedly coming out in August. So, and then we got Shang-Chi, we got Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and the Eternals to take. I mean, there's so much Marvel content coming at the end of the year. I could feasibly see there being some kind of burnout by like the end of the year. And that's only if the Eternals is shit. But I think everything else is going to be pretty good.
If What If is like a hit, then they're definitely going to have a huge thing on their hands with just unlimited amounts of fucking storytelling that they can go.
Oh yeah, and but that's like in Feige, I trust on that one there too, yeah. and the creative team like Vittorio Alonso, Lou D'Esposito. I think they're fantastic at their jobs, and they have my utmost respect. Yeah. And then Simon section here, $5. Thank you, man. Says a Gambit movie will be out before Marvel reboots itself. A Gambit movie starring Channing Tatum will be out before Marvel.
He really wants to play that character.
You know what? I say let him. Complete with
when I first heard it, I was like, no. But now I'm like, you know what? He's so dedicated. Let him play it. Let him fucking play it.
Let him do it. Why not? You know? Okay. Yeah. And then here, H Bart's another $5, man. Thank you. Says, like 50 years later, I'll be telling my kids, you're lucky you got all Marvel characters. I just had the original Avengers. Yeah, I guess that's going to be a thing. Like when I'm older, I'll be like, yeah, you know, when I was a younger boy, we didn't have Avengers 2800. I had Iron Man. And then 6 weeks later, I had the Hulk. And you know what? I liked it. God damn it. I took what I could get because it was still better than The Dark Knight Rises.
I think that What If like I said, if that becomes a really big series, that's going to be how they keep in a lot of these fucking actors too, because it's going to be way easier to convince RDJ and Chris Evans and a bunch of these other people, hey, come do some fucking voice acting for us, than to actually be on set and have to do all that.
And that's the thing about technology, as technology is going to increase, right? So for one, the volume, the stagecraft tech, that's going to be what they're going to use, because that is going to allow them to do a lot more in-house and keep like, you know, on set, like, on location stuff down. All right. And so I think that's going to be a thing that they're going to do. Never mind also deep fake technology and the de-aging technology. That's going to be a big thing. The deep fake is going to outtake the de-aging stuff, because de-aging has not been able to nail it. I mean, look, as much as I enjoyed Luke Skywalker and Mando season 2, the de-aging they used, it was a little bit rough. I've seen people run it through deep fake tech and it looks like 1,000,000 times better.
Mark Hamill was actually there physically, right?
He was physically there. Okay, he wasn't like, he wasn't the actor, but he was physically there. Yeah, okay. No. That wasn't Mark Hamill, but that he was on set. He was there that day. Yeah.
All right.
So they did that. And then of course you have, all the technology that's going to allow them to do things like Peter Cushing in Rogue One, where we had a really good looking Grand Moff Tarkin throughout that movie. You know, and so the CG is only going to get better, and these actors could come in and do their voice work and then be done with it. You know, and that could be another factor as well. Like they could easily like take, you know, look at Social Network, right? David Fincher's Social Network. Armie Hammer played 2 roles. He played the Winklevoss twins, and it was just him. He's not a twin. He's a sexual deviant and a potential cannibal, but he's not a twin. Wow. And I said potential.
Okay.
He just really likes to eat that pussy. Anyway, and so that looks pretty flawless in regards to how they shot it, right? How Fincher shot it. So it's going to be all about the technical prowess, who's going to be in front of the camera, or sorry, who's going to be behind the camera and the visual effects team. And as these things get bigger and crazier and better, we're going to see a lot more come out of that. And that's personally what I'm looking forward to. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see what's going on. And I just saw, I literally clicked on this without seeing that it was another super chat. And H Barts here says, I want a Michael Douglas Ant-Man prequel. Yeah, me too. You know what? Me too. I would love to see him and Michelle Pfeiffer as the original Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then do the de-aging technology there. So that could really work out really well. Okay. Okay. H Bart's here. Thank you again, sir. Says, I love seeing Peter Cushing. Always think of Van Helsing when I see Peter Cushing. Yeah, that is true. For me, it's Grand Moff Tarkin. You know, and I just love the way that, also, wasn't he in, he was in Fright Night too, wasn't he? He was in Fright Night, I think, wasn't he? I think so.
I've never seen that film.
Peter Cushing, Fright. Was he in Fright Night? Or am I thinking of somebody else? I don't think so. I think I was wrong.
I can't believe the Army was almost fucking Batman. Crazy that you could have, like that. Someone could have ended up playing Batman, who was supposedly doing all that weird shit in the background.
Oh, I was thinking of Roddy McDowall. I got Roddy McDowall and Peter Cushing messed up. My bad. But it's all good.
1000. Someone in the chat asked what about the Feige thing. We covered that a bit earlier. If you want to check that out after.
Yeah, we covered the Feige thing. It's like about 20-30 minutes, I think, actually into it, because we were talking about a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
As always, this real quick, asking about the Castlevania end credit scene. I haven't seen Castlevania any of the seasons, so I got to get in on that one.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay. So I know people have been waiting in the back. I see him here. Andrew Casali here. How's it going, man?
Hey, Jarbo.
So how you doing? How's your rage this week? Is it going good? You feeling pretty good?
For real.
That's good, man. Take a bit of a break, take a bit of a breather, do some yoga. You know,
well, I was watching some good Disney cartoons before I came in here.
That's which Disney cartoons?
Well, they're good successors to the Gravity Falls thing you showed earlier.
Oh, okay.
They're called the Owl House and Amphibia.
I've heard about Owl House and Amphibia. There's some stuff recently. Like, didn't Owl House get canceled? And
no, it's got a second season.
But I thought that's the last season.
No. They greenlit season 2 and 3, and season 3 is gonna have like a half-hour episodes, and then it's done.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, hey, look, at least they're actually giving it an end. You know what I mean? Like, so many of these shows, like, look at DuckTales. I haven't seen DuckTales, but like, they didn't even get they got season 3 and then that was it.
Yeah, well, both of those shows have really good characters.
Yeah. I'll have to check them out. Are they on Disney Plus?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, I'm always looking for something new to watch. My daughter really likes the Tinkerbell movies.
Oh,
so I've seen the Tinkerbell movies.
Loki as a pirate in one of them.
Yeah, it is true. And also, Christina Hendricks played Zarina in that one. And yeah, like Lucy Liu plays Silver Mist. And like, I have seen these things and I want to die. My daughter was just like, can we watch Lizzie? Lizzie's a character in one of the episodes, like one of the movies. And she's like, I want to watch Lizzie. And I'm all like, no. We will watch Boss Baby, and that is what we're watching in this episode.
Oh my god, you and Boss Baby.
I like it. It's good, man. I finally saw the trailer for part 2, and I'm like, all right, man, you got my interest.
I'm surprised you didn't pull up the fucking graphic, dude. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I removed the graphic. Even though somebody the other day left a comment section says, I'm just here for the Boss Baby comments. So like, clearly people got a kick out of that gag, and then I am deleting it, trying to clear off space. So I'm like, all right, we'll just get rid of this.
The only DreamWorks animation stuff I watch is like Shrek.
Bring back the Boss Baby.
Dude, Shrek is legit, man. We just went on this Shrek bender binge watch a few months ago.
Oh, really?
Nice. Well, no, when you have a 3-year-old and you have a 2-year-old and you have all 4 movies lined up, it is a fucking bender. And so like, we watch a lot of those kind of movies, and I've seen a bunch of them recently. And Shrek is fantastic, dude. Like Shrek, it's like Shrek 1 is great.
20 years this year.
Well, that's crazy because like it came out this month 20 years ago. So I was 19 when that movie dropped. And I took my younger sister and my younger brother to go see it when they were kids. My brother just turned 28 and my sister turns 30 in October. And I'm like, damn, we're getting old. I mean, you can just see my beard is looking like, you know, like patchy gray shit. And so it's like, yeah, it's crazy to think that's the time. I love the Shrek series, and I'd love to see them continue the Shrek series because I felt that Shrek 4 was one of the better ones. I feel Shrek 4, it did kind of remove it. It was kind of a multiverse story, to be fair, but I think like it did well to like address Shrek's kind of midlife crisis. It was Shrek's midlife crisis movie is what it was.
Yeah, and I saw that Ryan and Chad makes a good point that Amphibia, Owl House, and DuckTales were all made by people who worked on Gravity Falls.
Oh, well, there we go. There's another pitch to watch. The Gravity Falls, a complete set, as sent to me by Ryan here.
One of those shows, I think it's Amphibia, just had their season 2 finale, and at the end of it, they just Disney had the balls to do something at the end.
I like it when they take risks. Sorry. I just saw this Rel comment. Matt Jarbo wishes he was a Kevin Feige over the Boss Baby.
No, this is not a cinematic universe.
Definitely not.
It's not.
That's great, man. That's
yeah.
good.
What you were saying about the risk. Well, what if I told you that risk was like letting a teenager girl get murdered with a sword through the chest?
Say what?
Oh, really? So Disney actually killed a teenager. So you're telling me it's art imitating life?
Well, kind of.
I was kind of zooted out for a second. That was the only thing I heard out of context, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, well, it's I don't. Yeah, I mean, like some of those shows get a little bit dark, you know, and they get a little bit crazy, and that's always pretty good.
Yeah, well, trust me, you'll like that show. The character's name is Marcy.
Okay, and this is Owl House or Amphibia?
Amphibia.
Okay.
You'll like it.
Oh, yeah, I'll check it out. I mean, like, I'm looking for things to watch with my kids for one. I don't know necessarily like that one, but it's like I started watching Dragon Prince on Netflix a while back. I haven't seen season 3 yet, but seasons 1 and 2 are pretty good. So there's some good shows out there that, like, you know, I think adults and kids can watch.
And to go to that stuff you were talking about earlier for Marvel, I mean, when it comes to what's for Phase 4, like most of the stuff is kind of meh for me. But I heard today, the Sony CEO came out today talking about how like the No Way Home might kick off their universe of Marvel heroes, and we might have Tom Holland meet Tom Hardy.
Well, look, they're always their intent was to have the two meet up. Always. Yeah,
they said that No Way Home was supposed to kick off their universe.
Well, No Way Home is starting to like. I mean, it has for a while now sounded like it's had so much on its plate. I don't know if it can deliver, you know, and that's the one I'm looking forward to the most out of this year, out of all the Marvel content, you know, even Venom 2 and Morbius and all that stuff. And there's a lot of Marvel and side Marvel shit going on. No Way Home is the one I want to see because I love Homecoming and I love Far From Home. So I want to see how they're going to tie it together. Cause to me, that had the biggest cliffhanger. The question is going to be, whether or not, like, if this thing is just going to, like, because this one is going to lead into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So that's going to be fascinating. And if that is true, that Toby and Andrew are going to have cameos in it, I mean, I'm pretty, like, if they go full bore, I'm pretty sure they're going to do it, you know, because I mean,
the latest news is that we might have the Sinister Six comprised of villains from the other franchises, and Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is going to be the main antagonist.
I just saw that rumor, that Willem Dafoe is going to be the lead bad guy.
I'm down for that.
And I'm like, look, I mean,
a multiversal Sinister Six, though, like.
Well, listen, to be fair, that's better than the multiverse Justice League that Warner Brothers is like floating around and stuff.
I agree with that.
So yeah, because at least they're actually like all competent characters that have been built up and fleshed out. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. I don't know necessarily. And Electro apparently is coming back because Jamie Foxx was kind of like all about it, and then he deleted the tweets. So I mean, I just feel like this one is going to be like a big, massive movie. It's going to be huge. I mean, what is it? They pushed Morbius back now to mid-January, right? But it's like 5 weeks after the release of Spider-Man Far From Home, which means that Morbius is going to tie into Spider-Man Far From Home or No Way Home. So
the trailer did have Michael Keaton.
Well, true. And so that's going to be, I think there's going to be like direct, you know, I keep talking about there being like touch points, and I think this is going to be the first real touch point. I'm to be fair, I'm actually more excited for what's going to be happening with the Sony stuff, because I think it's like they're in a position where they have to be the underdog, so they kind of have to bring it. Marvel clearly is untouchable, but they're still produce good content. But you kind of want to see where the underdog is going to go and how the underdog is going to take it. But all right, Andrew, I'm going to let you go, man. We still got a few people to get through here, and I want to try to get out of here before 2 hours. But I appreciate you coming on, man. We'll talk again soon.
Have a good one, dude. Good night.
Thank you very much. All right, real quick here, because there's some more super chats that came on. And H Bart's here. Thank you, sir. Says, in Fright Night, Roddy McDowell plays Peter Vincent, a character based on Peter Cushing and Vincent Price. That's probably what I got wrong. It's been a long time since I've seen Fright Night. Not the original, or no, the original is great. I haven't seen the remake with Anton Yelchin. Okay. Benson here, £5 said, third try on the super chat message I posted. This is for the message I posted. Let me find that message.
I looked in the chat. I couldn't find any regular messages from this user. So
yeah,
I'm not sure
I don't know if you. I mean, I think I know.
Just repost what you want to say.
Yeah, and I'll take a look at that real quick, man. Yeah. But I appreciate the thing. I think I know what it is in relation to. Okay. But real quick here, Toronto Freddy says, "Man, this fucking movie sounds so fucking convoluted and way overstuffed." If the rumors are to be believed, I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see on this one. I'm hoping it's something that is there. All right. Real quick here, I'm gonna keep an eye out for Benson here, but for coming up here, you guys know him. You guys love him. He's here all the time, telling us about his wildest dreams and his future success. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony.
How you doing? How you doing?
Hey, man. Thank you for waiting. What's on your mind, buddy?
I'm doing great. Look what I got. Look what I got for my holes.
Is that the oh, wow. The Transformer video cassette.
Hell yeah.
Samuel Entertainment.
Nice, man.
My mom got me that 3 years ago.
That's a good ass movie.
Yeah, it's a kick ass movie.
And I believe they're getting ready to re-release that in 4K.
4K, yep. And I also got
nice.
One in Punisher. Also got hold on. X-Men Tomorrow people.
Okay. That will probably be adapted one day by Marvel.
Yeah, hopefully. Ultimate X-Men. I got this Gen 13.
Oh, cool. That was one that they've been wanting to get that made into a movie since the 90s. I remember when they were trying to push out there for what's it called? When they were trying to do fan casting for it back in the day.
I remember there was a Gen 13 animated movie.
Oh, there was.
Yeah.
Oh, that I didn't know about.
Yeah, I have it on DVD. It was supposed to come out with Warner Brothers because unfortunately Image owned the rights, so they scrapped it.
Okay, well that does, yeah.
And look at I got the very first.
Which one?
Avengers.
Nice.
I got that from Royal Collectibles for my birthday last year.
Cool.
Yeah, so as you were saying, Matthew.
Oh well, I mean, I don't have anything like that to share. I do have one thing I bought myself today. It's a late birthday present, but I got it. I found an Xbox in the wild.
Nice,
and
because night,
you found one.
I found an Xbox Series S, and I got the S model, not the X. Nice. And the reason why I got the S model, not the X, has more to do with the fact that I've got all my other games on my PlayStation 4, and I want to just kind of keep that in the family.
But the thing is about Transformers, I got this. I was renting that from ADL Video back in the 80s. My mom rented it for me, and then finally here it is. It's a collectible.
Nice.
So my power was out on Thursday.
Well, yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm glad it's back on. Glad you got your movies and stuff like that. Now, during the power outage, did you actually take the time and work on your script?
No, my
Anthony, come on, man. Come on.
I thought about doing an Anthony Chabot cinematic universe.
You want to... All right, Anthony. What is the Anthony Chabot cinematic universe?
Well, it starts with my family, my friends, everything.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of stories do you want to tell?
I want to tell each individual. They might do a team-up movie with me. I was thinking about in my head, me, Jessica Blair, and Emerson teaming up for the first time, going to L.A.
Oh, that's. I mean, that's. Hey, the key is you just got to write it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
That's
called
the key.
Cousins for Life. It's called Cousins for Life.
Cousins for Life. That's a good name, actually. That's really good. I think
Yep.
a lot of people love their cousins and they like to spend time with them. My cousin, I don't see him as often as I would like. One of them for legal reasons, he's kind of like ostracized and shit.
Yeah.
But
I haven't seen
Yeah.
my cousins in years because all of them are busy with kids,
yeah.
Yeah, one just had a kid last December. His name's Tommy Jones. Erin, I always think about her. She's expecting baby number 4. She lives in Jersey.
Well, I mean, yeah, the key is you just want to, make sure that you see your family when you can. And a lot of people will be okay with that. Hold on, I'm just looking through. I just want to make sure.
The thing is, Thursday I went to the beach. I went to the beach with my worker, had some 7-Eleven.
Nice. Did you get a Slurpee from session?
No, I got picked up.
Okay, cool, man. Cool.
Yeah, I had a Pepsi. I had chips. I had Kit Kat. My worker came in late because his ticket. He had to pay a fine on his ticket because his window was tilted.
That's not good, man. That's not good.
But he has to pay the ticket. I know he saved his foods for his family. He had 7 people living in this house.
That's a lot of people, dude.
Yeah, and 15 years ago, I became bald.
I'm almost there. It's getting there. You can play a drive-in movie on my forehead right now. That's how.
I can't wait for Fast 9. And I watch a lot of movies. I watched 2 for the Money. I watched what's the name? War of the Planet of the Apes. I watched Golden Child.
Good movie. Good movie. I love Golden Child.
All those movies when we last spoke. I watched the Angelina Jolie movie, Those Who Wish Me Dead.
No, I need to watch it. I haven't watched that one yet. I was told I need to watch it. Yeah,
I recommend you do.
I will check it out, man. But hey, man. So I'm gonna let you go, man. But thanks for coming on, and we'll talk again soon.
By the way, before I let you go,
yeah.
I'm thinking about joining your channel membership. I'm thinking about.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. There's been some new members recently. It's helping out quite a bit. I know I say that as I just showed a console, but like I was I'm
interested in joining your movie club.
Yeah, well, I got to figure out what I'm doing with that whole thing. And yeah, I wanted to just get back into talking about movies as well as everything else because I think that's a lot of fun. But all right, buddy.
Transformers and everything.
Yeah. I mean, like generally, what's on streaming because then more people have access to it, But we'll figure it out. All right, thanks a lot, Anthony. Have yourself a good one, man. Okay, thank you very much, Anthony. Now, Simon here. Super Chat here says, in Spider-Man Far From Home, why didn't they use a scroll to imitate Spider-Man to get Peter Parker off the hook? Sounds too simple. I think at that point in time, the scrolls are very much in one mode. They're just kind of like in one thing. And I understand I get what you're saying is why didn't they use a scroll to impersonate Peter on the field trip rather than go through all the hijinks? Well, I mean, that's a good point, to be fair. That's a very good point.
Well, but
it's also a movie,
right? Like, there has to be some suspension of disbelief. But also, like, that's one thing I kind of don't like about the Skrulls is that there's a lot of fucking theories about the Skrulls. People think that fucking, what's her name? I struggle to remember her first name, but the new Agent Carter, people think that she's a fucking Skrull. People think everyone's a fucking Skrull in this internet.
Well, they're now, because that's the whole point. They're trying to they've introduced the Skrulls. Now they're kind of setting up the suspension, or they're setting up the potentiality of who's going to be who and everything else. So I have to wait and see on that one. Yeah. Real quick, HWAD's here, $2 says, can you cook eggs on that Series S? He was, as I was on my way to go buy it tonight, like he actually responded to my tweet about it from yesterday when I saw it at the store. And he's like, don't get it, man. Don't get it. Get the Series X. I'm like, you know what? I thought about it and it's like, I just want to play the exclusive stuff. I'm pretty much buying this thing so I can just play all the Bethesda and Obsidian games. And then when the time comes and they finally get it all situated and they do the next upgrade model in the next couple of years, I'll be able to check it out. But anyway, yeah, I thank you. Okay.
Have you ever seen the Kentucky Fried console, by the way?
No, I haven't.
I just want to say this real fast. It's a KFC console that they made. It's like a gaming PC branded by them that also warms your chicken. It's fucking crazy.
Goddamn KFC. All right, Mitch, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, man. So real quick, what's on your mind
Alright.
tonight? I appreciate you waiting.
Yeah, like I apologize if I have like a uncontrollable cough because like COVID. I got my last COVID vaccine just like a while ago, and this cough is like kicking my ass and all that shit.
Yeah, no, it's I get it, man. I get it. I got my second shot a week ago, and I'm still kind of feeling it every once in a while.
Yeah, so if I'm coughing, that's the reason. But anyways, like I remember like hearing you say something about like the whole what is it, like Bob's Burgers incident with like that trans character being voiced by a man.
Yeah, Marshmallow.
Yeah, so there's like a similar situation with like I don't know if you heard about like a game series called Guilty Gear.
I did hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently one of the voice actresses from that series, they decided to step down because they thought that one of the characters looked black, even though they're not even human. So
and never mind. Hadn't this voice actor been voicing the character for like a long time?
Well, they voiced this character for like just like one game, and that's it. And like one guy was like saying like, "Oh, are you like basically just giving your like sloppy seconds to this other voice actress or whatever?" Like
white guilty gear.
Wouldn't that just be white guilty gear?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I never put that together when I heard about that too. That's pretty funny.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. That's nuts, man. That's nuts. I can't believe that. Yeah, I mean, look, the thing is like right now it's like, I understand why certain voice actors, like they don't want to do it. And the thing is people, it's not even that I think people are really like worried about like them taking a job away from somebody else. I really don't think that at all. Because acting is acting and they all know it. You know, acting is acting. It's like, that's what it is. You need someone for a part and that they all know it. So, but what it is they're afraid, I think, of being canceled. They're afraid of being kind of put in the position to where it ends up blowing up. And so a lot of them are just kind of scaling it back and look, and I'm not against it. You know what? If that's how they feel and that's what they want to do, then that's up to them to do as an actor. That's their professional choice to make. You know, I think it's kind of overblown in a lot of issues, because you can have black voice actors voicing white people, and like that's never brought up as a thing, right? But as soon as it's on the other foot, then it becomes a different conversation. It's like, well, wait, hold on, are we equal? Are we not equal? Where does this stand? And it really is to the determination of the parties who make the content. You know, like that's what it boils down to. And that's going to be their choice. And if it doesn't impact the story, then I don't really have much of an issue with it personally. But I just find that there's certain elements of it that come across as hypocritical. And you know what? Certain people can have those conversations. Certain people can't have those conversations.
Yeah, like that double standard.
Whoa.
You know?
It's a pretty big, massive double standard on that stuff, unfortunately. And it's tragic.
And the thing is, like, this is an English dub. Like, the original like Japanese audio version of it, like the character is voiced by a Japanese woman. Like, are you gonna tell this Japanese woman, like the original Japanese voice actress, to step down and have like an African American female voice actress try to voice in like Japanese or something? Like,
no, because they don't give one iota of a shit in Japan.
I know that, but like,
they don't care.
If you're gonna do that, but
they don't care at all. You know, Japan is like Japan will kick it into overdrive. You know what I mean? Just to prove a point. But
someone in the chat brought up a good example. Taylor Richards said like Phil Lamar voicing Samurai Jack. He does a great job. Yeah, I wouldn't have anyone else as Samurai Jack.
Here's the thing. I'll never say an unkind word about Phil Lamar. I fucking love Phil Lamar. Ever since Mad TV, man. Ever since Mad TV season 1, like well over 20 years ago now. I've been a Mad TV fan since then. Phil Lamar I love that guy. So yeah, I totally get it. But all right, man. All right. Well, hey man, I'm gonna let you go. I got some more stuff to get. I'm just trying to I know there's some super chats to get to, and then more people to get to. and then I appreciate you, Mitch. Thanks for waiting, man. Yeah, we'll do.
Have a good one.
First time being on the stream, but
call in again, dude. I'll probably do these. I'll probably do call-ins more like once a week, just to keep things simpler during the week, and then the weekend I have more time. So,
all right, have a good one, man.
Thanks a lot, Mitch. Have a good one, man. Thank you. All right, real quick here. Shrek is Daddy, $2, saying the second shot has the spike protein that changes your DNA. So what you're saying is the microchip is real, and it's changed my DNA. What am I now, a mutant? What am I? What is? I don't get this at all. I don't get this at all, buddy. But sure. I mean, next thing you're going to tell me that they put it in the second shot contains the protein that turns the frogs gay.
What the fuck's that profile picture?
Is that a pregnant Shrek?
Yeah, that's a pregnant.
Is that a pregnant Shrek giving? Yeah, oh my God, you degenerate! All right, and then here's Benson. Thank you, man. Says here we hit a nerve with Enosh on that Fisher tweet. I said he was baiting Discovery. Didn't go down well. Time he accepted, the Snyderverse is over.
Damn.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree that the Snyderverse, in regards to what they want to do with it, it's done. Even Zach was saying tonight on Lightcast that it's done. That they might want, he thinks it's going to be ridiculous if they try to make another movie with his visual style. They might. I don't know. I think I love Enosh. He knows we're good friends. I think he's a little too close to this, and I've told him this. And it's again people, but a lot of people kind of caught that exchange, and I got a lot of messages from people that were with me on that one, only because it was I wasn't attacking Ray Fisher, and everyone jumping down my throat over that was kind of indicative of be careful who to see who rules over you, just see who you can't criticize, right? That old quote that's attributed to Voltaire, but it's not actually Voltaire. So something like that. But yeah, I agree. I just, I'm just kind of avoiding those streams with him right now. Just because I just don't want to talk about that, but, I appreciate it. Thank you very much, man. Now, H-Bart's here. $50.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I even made a visual, note of that. Geez, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no, H-Bart's is a fantastic guy. And I appreciate everything. Saying here at work a couple weeks ago, I told my friend who is Mexican to go back there, and some people heard me say it and said that's not right to say, that's racist. I turned around and said I'm Mexican though, and they all walked away thinking it was funny. Yeah, I mean that's kind of how it works, it's that's kind of the tribalism if you think about it.
Yeah,
you can say it to your friend. I couldn't say it to your friend, nor would I, but I mean, I'm part Canadian. People give me shit for being Canadian every once in a while. So it's all right, it's fine. I don't care. If it's other Canadians I know, then it's even funnier. Or I make fun of Canadians because I'm part one. I'm also part Jewish, but I don't talk about that because I don't really know where the lineage is coming from, I just know it's on my father's side, so it doesn't count, apparently. But yeah, man, listen, I get it. And that's, what we all have. The thing is, when you work with people, you can make those kind of jokes because they know you. And that's a little bit different. It's you couldn't go up to some random, Hispanic guy on the street and say, go to Mexico. And then people go oh, and you're like, no, but I'm Mexican. So I can say it that ain't going to fly.
Yeah.
That ain't going to fly. But in this situation, yeah, I think you're fine on that one. I think if everyone had a laugh and everyone got that it was a joke, that works out pretty well. Thank you very much for that. $50. I appreciate it. Okay, we got a couple more people to get to. We're gonna blaze through because I want to go set up this fucking Xbox. All right, Flicks picks in the nitpicks.
Nitpicks.
I know you've been waiting a while, man, and had some technical difficulty. I saw you back there. So how's it going?
It's going all right. You can hear me?
I can hear you, yeah, man.
All right, that's what's up. I wanted to talk about the Taika Waititi thing. I know I'm going to say something that a lot of people are not going to find favorable, but I feel like in the world that we're living in right now, Marvel bosses has every right to feel a little trepidatious about those pitches. Let me explain. You've seen Zack Snyder get on a live stream and just make one comment, and it was blown way out of proportion for 2 weeks straight, and they said he shitted on the fans, which he never did. So imagine those pictures now, and Tessa Thompson has an issue with Taika Waititi later. You know what they're going to pull back out? Those pictures.
Oh yeah, no.
I
There's
don't-
definitely a subordinate issue there. You know what I mean? There's a power dynamic issue there, and I did mention that earlier. That because the film wasn't done shooting yet, and she might have been wrapped on the movie, but it's still not professional. That's still not professional because we don't know the extent of what those images are. But unless there's clarification, people are going to let their minds kind of wander. However, it wasn't viewed by the general consensus as being bad. It was viewed as being like, or like a humana sort of thing. A lot of jealousy. A lot of people like, oh, I want to watch that situation take place. So they weren't. If it was like I don't even know of a proper comparison to that. But if there was something along those lines that ended up being that was considered a negative, I guess it would have. I think Marvel would have already stepped in and said something. Like let's say it was Taika and like it was like 2 12-year-olds or something. You know what I mean? Like if it was that level of degenerate, just having 3 consenting adults in close proximity, who cares?
I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I'm an adult. I don't really care what they do when they outside. But if I'm Disney, and right now where you really we're coming out of the I don't know if we could call the 19 thing, the pandemic or what have you.
Yeah.
You're trying, and you already went through a lot of stuff with the theme parks and everything, and you're still trying to compete, and you're a family brand. It's also brand recognition, and it might they didn't say that they actually enforced any type of repercussions onto it, but as soon as they seen it, they was like, oh no, I'm not feeling that. I'm like, if I was an exec, the first thing in my mind is, oh man, I could just see where this is gonna go. That's just not a good look. It's just not a good look.
I get that.
Harmless, the pictures are harmless. Don't get me wrong. I don't really care. It look harmless, but I'm just thinking for brand recognition, for like you said, the subordinate to be doing that. Like I said, that doesn't bother me none, but I can understand why Disney could feel like we might be walking into a coal mine.
I feel like these big corporations just kind of have to get over it, though, in my opinion, because like they're going to limit themselves to working with so few people if they're this fucking anal about what anyone does in like their life.
Well, I think the difference is though is like they don't care what you do, right? They don't care if you make money. They don't care. The problem is always about what you do publicly and how it's perceived publicly. So like let's say for example, these photos would have come out in like I'm just gonna say like the 1950s, okay. And back during when segregation was a thing, Jim Crow was a thing, and you've got, like it would be considered something that they're all I think they're all multiracial. Rita Ora might be is like the most white, but Taika is definitely considered not white and Tessa's not white. So they might look at that as being like, oh, she's, degenerating herself or denigrating herself by being in this. That would be a scandal. If this was like 50 years ago, it would be a massive scandal. Nowadays, though, it's like, as long as like they're not bringing 8-year-olds to, kink fests at freaking Pride, like no one's going to care. No one's going to really give a shit because it's all consenting adults. I see your point though, Flicks, about Disney and like how they might perceive it. But if like, look, if Tessa was like, or Rita was like sucking his dick or something, that's a totally different thing. All we have is like is a peck, but we don't know the context.
Oh, without question. I'm just saying I can see why they, like I said, we don't know if all we know about it is that the Disney execs just didn't like it.
Yeah.
I think they have every right to, because I think they're feeling like, oh man, this could go left. Somewhere down the line, someone's going to want to, the spin doctors are going to spin this into something else. Or again, down the line, all Tessa has to do is say something, or someone on the set says, why Tessa got to get all these extra lines? Here go these pictures.
Yeah,
like,
no. And the truth of the matter is,
it's just brand representation. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that
they're
going to do anything to enforce. I don't know if they'll do anything to enforce it, but again, I don't know. Disney is a family brand, and I guess what you would call that what polygamy, is that polygamy or something like that? Well,
polyamory. The term is polyamory.
I'm not exactly sure if that's family friendly, because they don't know if the parents might see this and want to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at the parents that were calling for James Gunn to get fired, and some people are gonna, when Guardians 3 finally comes out, some people are gonna squawk a little bit, but then ultimately no one's going to care.
It's
like, that's the thing is like, I think we sometimes, and I've done it too, to be honest, there are times when we go a little bit too heavy into this shit. And it's like, this story, I thought the story was like really funny because I'm like, people are freaking out over like some thruple stuff. And it's like, okay, it's just, is Marvel upset? Is Kevin Feige mad? Maybe he is, maybe he's not. Is it going to end up impacting Thor: Love and Thunder? No, they're just going to say, listen, don't do it in public. Like, go to some place where there's not going to be, any kind of paparazzi, or just be more careful, and that's really about it. But otherwise, I mean, unless there's a big blowout with it, and I agree with you though about Tessa and her having kind of like leverage down the road, so to speak. That to me is the bigger factor in all of this is that power dynamic.
And that's how I look at it. Especially when you have a lot of, we have like feminism is a big thing, and all she has to do is start making it that type of slant, and everybody, the optics will change from 3 consenting don'ts doing whatever, and now the narrative can spin easily someplace else when it was like, it's not really that deep. But again, like I said, I personally do not give a damn. He's living life.
Yeah. No, I hear you, dude. I hear you entirely. Well, hey man, I'm going to let you go. Get the last couple people. And I appreciate you waiting and coming on, and we'll do more call-ins more frequently so it doesn't take as long of the night to get to everybody.
No worries, man. Thank you for being on, man. Have a good one.
Thanks. You too, man. Thank you very much. Have a good one, buddy. All right. Thank you, sir. Now we did get one here, another $5 from HBarts, saying, I'm feeling really weak right now. It's odd. I feel strong mentally, but physically I feel super weak. Yeah, dude. I mean, just drink water, rest up, just like play video games, chill out.
Take it easy, man.
Just take it easy, dog. That's all you got to do, man. And don't overthink it. Like the worst thing you can do when you get sick is like start overthinking it, because then it just stresses your body out. And then you do what I do, and you go and you buy a fucking Xbox Series S. That's what happens. You get stressed out because your cat's gone. You want to see your goddamn cat, but nope, gaming. It's yeah. I think I hate saying it like that. It's kind of true. I was like, that's what kind of edged me towards it. I'm like, I just need to do something to kind of like get my mind off the cat.
No, I feel that, man.
All right, here. So, well, Persipacity, we're not doing calling. I've got 2 more people to get to, and that's it, man. So, yeah, you can call in again at another time, but right now I'm not taking it. So thank you though. All right. Totaling Wolf.
Hey, how's it going, Matt?
It's going okay, man. I know you've been on waiting for a while. I don't want to rush you through, but I do need to start getting ready to
that's no
head
problem.
out myself.
Yeah. Oh, shit. What else I can ask? Yeah, I was
like, I fucking waited all this goddamn time. Fuck.
No.
Fuck. I forgot.
No.
Is it Zack Snyder related? Is it?
No. It was actually. It's not about the Snyderverse or anything. It's about like the future of his movies.
Sure,
sure. Like, do you think like he's gonna have go into a big partnership with Netflix or another streaming service? Like
72 million households in the first week. Oh yeah, I think they didn't put that out there for nothing.
Oh yeah,
they didn't put that out there for nothing. Like it's a big hit. It's a big hit.
Yeah, when I first tried to watch it, my Netflix just crashed.
Some people might tell you that was just Netflix protecting you from the movie, but those people are wrong. Those people are wrong. I've seen so many hot takes about Army of the Dead, and I'm like, do you guys not think to rewatch the movie? Because if you rewatch the movie, a lot of what you're complaining about still doesn't entirely make sense, but you get a better understanding, a broader understanding of kind of what they're setting up here, because it's not a be all end all movie. It is the start of something,
Yep. Zach's on top of the world right now. People should be happy with that and be happy for him. More importantly, I don't know why they aren't, but
they did set up a sequel, at the end of the movie with the.
We won't say what it is. Not everyone else seen it yet.
Sorry about that.
What I'm curious about is there's apparently some kind of time dilation thing that people have been talking about. There's been this rumor about a time loop, and I can't see where it comes into play. I need to watch it again. There you go. You know what I mean? Like the people that are like, oh, but there's this and there's this and there's this. I'm like, well, you gotta go pay attention to it. I will say this though. I did the Podio commentary for Army of the Dead before I knew that they put out like a behind the scenes documentary of it and on Netflix, and I'm like, fuck, I should have waited a little bit, but I was trying to get, capitalize on the success.
Yeah, true. That makes sense.
I haven't seen that yet, but I've heard it's pretty good.
I need, well, I like the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, I got to go check that out. So I like Zach. I mean, I criticized elements of the Snyder Cut movement, that his parts in it and stuff, but I think the guy's a fantastic filmmaker. I love him as a storyteller. He's very visual, and he's just trying, he's trying something a little bit different. And I feel like he always gets kind of tossed around, but look, 72 million households watched this movie. That is not indicative of how many millions of people, hundreds of millions of people potentially watched the movie. And then you've got, like the success from that. I mean, the Snyder Cut, they haven't even released any information on. So this is a direct slap in the face to Warner's, as well as everyone else is laughing at Warner's as a result. And you know what? I mean, we're going to find out more about Army of the Dead as the weeks and months go on. And I'm pretty sure leading into the release of Army of Thieves later on this year, we're going to get a trailer for the Lost Vengeance animated series. And probably a Netflix is going to announce an Army of the Dead 2. I would say, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't want to call it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they put it this week, if we got an announcement this week. Because when you come out and you go like, hey, 72 million households watch this movie in the first 10 days, that's generally indicative of like, this is a success. We need to do more.
Yeah. Do you think that they could make a TV spin-off to Army of the Dead?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what the Lost Vengeance animated series is going to be. So so that's the animated series that's being directed by Jay Oliva, who directed The Dark Knight Returns for Warner Brothers.
Oh, I love those movies.
Yeah. And then like all the cast is going to come back to do their voices. And then also like other people who have worked with Zach, like Joe Manganiello is going to be in it. And a few other people are going to pop in to do their voices to kind of really expand upon the opening credit sequence of the movie to give you more of a background on that. And I think that's going to be pretty cool. And then that could potentially lead into a series. But I mean, it's also like the other side of it though, is it going to continue past what happened at the end of the movie? Is it going to be what happened before? I mean, Vegas is a relatively smaller space, so there's a lot there that they're going to be able to play with.
Yeah, but it was a couple of years, like from the start of the movie to, like Vegas was closed off for a couple of years. And so they could do many different stories and all that.
They really could. They really could.
It's a big time gap. So, there's a lot they can do.
Yeah. I mean, I see people in the chat are trying to say that the writing was horrible. I disagree that the writing was horrible. I mean, like the thing with Kate, the daughter. Yeah. But the thing with Kate, the daughter, I mean, if you think about Zach and his daughter, I mean, like there's a parallel there. And so I give it a bit of slack. That wasn't my favorite plot point in the movie, but I give it a bit of slack because it's about a father trying to save his daughter who, I mean, you can't really fault that particular arc knowing what we know.
Exactly.
And I'm down for it. I really liked it. So I really, I can see the criticisms and the complaints. I saw it in theaters. Maybe that changed my perspective of it. I really enjoyed seeing it in theaters. And I would gladly go see it again if I had the time. I just need to watch it again on Netflix because I already fucking pay for it.
Yeah.
So all right, man. Well, hey, I'm gonna let you go because I got one more guy to get to. I gotta F off.
Just one more thing before I head off. I heard this rumor that they're making a Mandalorian game. I don't know if it's true or not.
I haven't heard anything about a Mandalorian video game. I think like Ubisoft is working on something, right? We know that much.
Oh, they're working on the next. Rights?
Yes, that was announced a few months ago. So EA has still got them for some stuff, but they've also like basically went to EA and said, "Yeah, you guys can work on it, but we're also going to be taking pitches from other studios because they're creating a whole new game division." And so Ubisoft is handling a third person. I believe it's going to be a third person, probably action adventure Star Wars game, probably in the vein of Assassin's Creed or Watch Dogs, or those kind of games, which tend to have a very solid foundation despite some of the bugs and a large dedicated fan base of people. And
that's pretty cool.
And so it's like I think that's what they're going to do. I could see Mandalorian being a thing on that one where you are a bounty hunter and that would give you the single player experience.
Would be so badass.
That'd be it'd
That
be
would be
great
cool.
with that. And we're at to wait and see what happens with it. E3 is right around the corner. I think Ubisoft is going to give us that information there. I think they're going to confirm Jedi Fallen Order 2, which I am so there for because I loved Fallen Order. And so yeah, there's a lot of good Star Wars stuff coming down the pipeline. I'm hoping we get more Mando because I just want more Mando.
Oh yeah, I love that. It'll just be a really cool concept. But well, thanks for your time anyway. I really appreciate coming on.
No, thank you very much for waiting. I appreciate you taking the time to call in and ask some cool questions and do it again, definitely.
All right, catch you later, man.
Right. Thanks a lot, man. Have yourself a good one.
See ya.
All right. I probably should have done call-ins earlier. I didn't think there's gonna be that many people, to be honest with you. I appreciate it. All right. Benson here, £5 says, why is nobody saying well done to him? A threesome with those two? Damn. Well, yeah.
I mean, that goes without saying, right?
It's like,
kind of an unspoken thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say no. I'm like, it's like,
all right.
I'm just saying. Okay, and real quick here. I'll do Rio Logan and then we'll get to the final two, the super chats right there. All right, the Rio Logan Massacre. How's it going, man?
Oh, going good. First off, I just want to say I've been watching you for a couple of years and I've really enjoyed your channel.
Thank you.
Streams you've done actually helped me out because I'm recovering from something right now. So streams have given me something to watch each night, which I really appreciate.
Thank you. That's kind of my goal is to I felt bad missing last night because I'm trying to do every night at least an hour. This last night wasn't a good night, but I enjoy doing it because it's like, it's just fun to talk to everybody and go over what's going on.
Well,
and
me and my
that way.
cousin sit around and watch you actually on Xbox, actually. We've been watching you since we were younger. We always found your Last Jedi prediction kind of interesting. So we don't watch none of your new content, man.
That's okay.
I'm watching your old content.
That's all right. That's all right, I guess.
Little quick Star Wars questions before me and
Sure.
him go out for a bit. And one of them, I want you to settle a debate between me and him.
All right.
You to debate. It's been since we were kids to adults now. We've been arguing something, and I want you to settle it.
Okay.
Question 1: what's your top 6 favorite Star Wars films?
Top
I
6.
told him that was a question more from him. He's watching you on Xbox right now.
Sure. I mean, obviously, it's like Empire, A New Hope, Jedi, Attack of the Clone. No, sorry, Revenge of the Sith, Rogue One, and Solo. I would say those ones would be my top 6.
Kind of funny. Everyone always says Empire. When it comes to Empire, that never makes my top 5 even, or top 10.
I love Empire. It's
how the fuck can you be a Star Wars fan and not like Empire in the top 5?
I usually.
I'm very curious, sir.
Off very easy. Like my top 6 is always. Well, I'm gonna do a rough because I don't have it off the top of my head. I know the first 3 would be the prequels, for sure. Then it would probably Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. Then Return of the Jedi. Now,
that's your top 6.
Well, yeah, because I kind of grew up with the prequels. And
okay. Yeah, I get that. I actually get that mindset quite a bit.
I do respect the originals, but like when I was growing up, we would rent them from Blockbusters. We always went with the prequels. When it came to the originals, I always thought, as a kid, I thought Empire and New Hope were born, so I didn't get as into them.
Okay.
When Last Jedi came out, now I know it's an outside opinion. I just loved everything about it, minus like a few little things, but got really into it. And I just remember being all into when Luke walks out there and just disappears and stuff. I was just all into that film. Just thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I get that because, like, for me, the very first movie I went to go see was Return of the Jedi in '83. I was 1, right? So, like, I don't remember the experience, but my mom told me about it. And then as a kid, I would rent the movies and I'd watch the movies, and that was what I was into. And so then the first movie, the first new Star Wars film I saw was Phantom Menace. When it came out in '99, and then blew my mind. I was 17, so it's like I'm in that weird kind of age where it's like I like the prequels. The sequel trilogy, like for me, it's like I love Force Awakens because I like the reintroduction to it and I like what it sets up. The Last Jedi, I can handle. It's just Luke's death is what really bothers me about that movie. That's really what gets
my favorite part because I'm always like, okay, so I was sitting down with my family because we all love Star Trek. No, Star Wars. We hate Star Trek, but
Again, those are bold words.
Anyway,
you're dropping some bold bombs tonight here, sir.
I would say
You are a bold one.
Yeah, I am the
Bolder.
guy right now. Last Jedi is above Empire, but when we were all sitting around watching Last Jedi, when the scene where Luke just disappears, I actually thought he was there. Then I started to notice when he put his foot down, it wasn't there. So I was kind of like 50-50 on it. But I kind of liked his depth. That's like my issue with Rise of Skywalker. I love it. It's in my top 6. Like I went day 1 to it. I loved it. That's my only flaw. I kind of felt like they kind of retconned a few things in The Last Jedi. That's like
I forgot the sequels existed.
No, they very much retconned some stuff. They very much retconned elements.
Which I assumed Rian Johnson was going to do episode 9, so I was for that. I'm still hoping he gets his trilogy.
He was never going to do episode 9. It was always going to be a different director. The problem, though, is like JJ coming out the other day and saying, well, it would have been good if we would have had a plan. They had a plan. They literally had a room full of whiteboards where they plotted out the entire trilogy of movies. But for some reason, like Rian Johnson was given carte blanche to do what he wanted. And then the rumor is that Colin Trevorrow wanted Luke Skywalker and like was asking Ryan to not kill Luke Skywalker. And Ryan like didn't listen and just wanted to kill off Luke. Luke's death was absolutely unearned, in my opinion, only because we don't like them saying like if he used that much force, it would kill him. There was no stake for him to go to Octu and to do all that. It was cool, but it shouldn't have killed him because we had no prior information about how that would actually exhaust his entire life force. We know he had closed himself off to the force. And so then he reopens that door and it ends up like teleporting himself, a doppelganger across the universe. Somehow he magically was able to hone in on where his sister and everybody was.
I can see why some people hate that dude. The only thing like I've ever like disagreed with everybody on, and this is my own outside opinion. Me and my friends all disagree on it. Everybody I watch disagrees on it. People say it's Rian Johnson's fault. I've always looked at it as more okay, like with the episode 9. I think that's what a fault came into it because Rian Johnson made Last Jedi. He went a new direction with it. He was going his own way.
In the middle of a franchise, in the middle of a trilogy, you don't just all of a sudden veer off the left course and then like leave the bag for the next guy who's got to come on in and go, fuck.
It's not on J.J. Abrams. It's really not on J.J. Abrams. I genuinely think he did the best that he could with what he had.
Well, I think the Palpatine thing is kind of dumb, but I like it in theory. But again, there needed to be more build up and to get to that point.
Rian Johnson killed off Snoke though. So what was he going to do? Like that was the
Rey should have been the direct clone of Palpatine because on Jakku, there actually was an underground cloning facility that the Empire had set up. So at the Battle of Jakku that we hear about or we see the remnants of in the beginning of The Force Awakens, there's one of the stories, one of the actual books that talks about how there was a cloning facility at the base on Jakku, the Empire base on Jakku, and that could have been where they could have altered the timeline a little bit to where it was like Rey was a Palpatine clone, was Force sensitive, but because of the destruction of the facility, they whisked her away and she grew up as a junker.
Bugs me about JJ though when he wrote the whole episode 9, which I do like episode 9 before I say this, then I'll rush through the other 2 questions is, okay, when you make like a final piece of the trilogy, I feel like you shouldn't try to be retcon in the middle of the trilogy.
But the middle piece fucked over the first movie.
But should you still erase it? That's like saying
yes. Yes, absolutely.
Back to the Future 2, but Back to the Future 3 needs to just erase Back to the Future 2, which not best comparison, I guess.
No, Back to the Future 2, Marty goes back obviously because he has to, or he gets stuck there. And then at the end of that, like they need to go back and get the DeLorean because Doc was in the DeLorean and the DeLorean got zipped off to 1885. And so Doc Brown was already dead, but he had stashed the DeLorean in a place knowing exactly where Marty was going to be and set Marty up to go and get the DeLorean. Marty was supposed to go home. Marty chose to go back to 1885 to save Doc. That storyline works. That storyline absolutely works. Back to the
Future was a bad comparison. Mid-sentence, I was thinking that.
Yeah, like, no. Like, you're talking to an 80s kid, dude. You're talking to an 80s kid.
I feel like you should have shoved it under the rug. I try to retcon everything. I feel like you should have.
But where were they going to go with it? Like, here's what I said. Here's what I said before is they should have done episodes 9 and episode 10. All right. They should have done episode 9 and episode 10. That would have rounded out the sequel trilogy or quadrilogy or whatever. They should have done that because then it would have given them more time to flesh out a time jump from the ending of The Last Jedi. It would have given him more time to establish better characterizations and an actual reason to go into that final movie with there being something worth building up for. Because there was nothing at the end of The Last Jedi.
I disagree.
Where
At the end of The Last Jedi, they did have some stuff like built up. For instance, Kylo
what?
Supreme Leader. Kylo was set to be the Supreme Leader.
That meant nothing. We already knew he was going to, there was nothing there that like there was no one that was in danger, right? There was no one that like at the end of Empire Strikes Back, one of the biggest things was like you find out that Vader's Luke's father, huge ass reveal. All right. And that Han Solo's frozen in carbonite and his friends are like, well, we got to go get him back. So Lando, realizing that he was a big part of all this problem, goes off with Chewie to start tracking him down to Jabba's palace in order to find a way to get their friend back. That was at least setting up the beginning of Return of the Jedi.
Okay, this was Last Jedi. Luke dies, one of their last hope. Rey learns she's a nobody, and Kylo takes over all of the First Order.
Okay, well, the Luke thing wasn't built up at all. Like, there was no foreshadowing to it. If anything, they were building up the character to come back, and they just disappointed everybody.
And that's that was the thing. It was like, I think Mark Hamill did a great job in the movie. I do.
Of course.
But that ending was just terrible because he didn't need to die. Using the Force doppelganger, which Ryan Johnson has actually pointed to on Twitter as being like, it was from an old Legends book that they kind of reappropriated for this, but he was like, oh, look, it's canon. It's not actually canon, whatever. That's all, semantical arguments, I believe. But at the same time, what we're talking about though, is him going back and pulling something and saying, look, no. This was in the Force book that a Jedi could do. And it's like, okay, cool, fine.
We never established it.
But yeah, we never established it. And it also didn't say it had to kill anyone, because Luke is meant to be one of the most powerful Force users. So why is it that him being able to doppelganger himself would kill him?
When I went into episode 9, I was hoping either Luke was alive or he would haunt Kylo as a ghost, one of the two.
Well, I'll tell you this. Go back and watch that death scene with Luke. And when you watch the death scene with Luke, you can see when he comes back, when it cuts back to him and he's on the slab on Octu, he's holding his side, right? If you look, there's a shot where he's like kind of holding his side. And to me, I was like, okay, that could be something where like, even though he had transported himself there was some physical damage that took place. And if they would have shown that he actually would have been kind of really physically there, and when Kylo cut him with the lightsaber, that actually did physically register on his body, and that's why he died, guess what? I could actually believe that, because then there would be something there that would establish a reason for his death, not just looking out at the twin suns and going, night, night.
It was the worst of both worlds in a lot of ways, because he wasn't actually there, but he still died anyway. Like, at least if he actually was there physically, that would have been cooler, because at least,
Yeah, Han Solo still encountered him himself.
Yeah. That's true.
That's what bugs me with the X-Wing in episode 9 when Luke lifts it out. I'm always like, why didn't he just hop into X-Wing and go there himself?
It was probably faster.
Oh, but I have like a minute or two, so I'll rush through the other two questions.
All right.
Okay.
Because, I feel like for me, Last Jedi is Citizen Kane of the Star Wars franchise after the prequels.
All right. Go ahead. What's your other question?
Do you think there's an extended cut of Rise of Skywalker in any way, shape, or form? I hear mixed things on the internet, and I'm not one to really go off articles, but I remember you predicting the Lando show coming out.
Yeah. Well, I got that from Mikey Sutton. So when it comes to the Rise of Skywalker and there being another cut of it, I don't think they had the time to do clearly there are more cuts of the film that exist, right? Oops. Okay. That was my bad on that one here. Hold on a second.
Oh shit. Rest in peace, man.
No, I have 3 hours on this camera. 3 hours until the battery dies. And so I hit the 3 hours. So that's what happened there.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Rest in pepperoni. So the thing to consider here though, is that there are multiple cuts of the movie. They shot what they shot, and then they went back and they reshot a bunch of stuff at Bad Robot in LA, leading up to the release of the movie. I mean, it was almost what you would call like a wet print. And that's a term that was like a movie that was just finished right before it came out. And I do think that there is I do think that there is some stuff there where we could get more of an explanation, like the stuff with Ochi, which they've been explaining in the comics. And I do think that's going to tie into the Lando show, because when Lando says, me and Luke were hunting Ochi in this blade. I think that was a kind of a setup for like what's going to be coming. And then, hey, Mando season 2, we get Luke Skywalker's introduction. And we already knew before then that there was going to be there was already going to be, or it was right after that, we learned about the Lando show. So clearly they're setting things up for that.
Me and my friends been debating since we heard rumors about the Lando show, and since this was before Rise of Skywalker, that you knew Lando and Luke were up to something. Do you think Mark Hamill will appear in the Lando show as Luke Skywalker? Because you really didn't get much conversation between them in the original trilogy.
I think whoever they cast as Luke Skywalker will meet up with Donald Glover. I think Sebastian Stan. Everyone wants Sebastian Stan. It is kind of the perfect casting.
See, that's my issue. I feel like I can't see him as Luke Skywalker. I think he's a good actor as like Bucky and stuff. I think I watched him in an old horror movie a while back from the early 2000s, but I think he's a good actor. I just can't see him as Luke.
I can see it even in his acting skills. I could totally see him pulling it off. He looks like him.
It's kind of like Alden Ehrenreich is as Han Solo. It's like people got really bitchy about that because it wasn't that other kid who looked like Harrison Ford. But the thing is, having the other kid who looked like Harrison Ford, I think actually it's one of those things that's going to be like Uncanny Valley, where you get into it too much, where it's like, oh, okay, it's like it's too much. But Alden did a good job.
Place. I get what you mean.
Yeah. So, but all right, man. Hey, I got to let you go.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for your nuclear hot takes. As Adam Burke here says, I completely agree. You have some nuclear takes, man. You should make a video about why The Last Jedi is a Citizen Kane of the Star Wars universe. I would watch that. I would actually watch that critically, and I would watch it to get your opinion.
The Star Wars fanboys might try to kill me if I do that.
Oh no, that will definitely happen. But here's the thing: you should do it anyway, because fuck it, and it's funny.
Oh my god!
You know what? I'll make the video next week and send it to you, man.
Okay, do it. Send it to me, and then yeah, we'll talk about it, because I want to get your take on this one. That is, I don't know if you saw my reaction when you said that right before my camera went out, but yeah. I want to know more about that one.
You know what? Why The Last Jedi is like Citizen Kane. Have a nice night, man.
All right. Oh my god, have a good one, dude. Thank you. Oh my god.
What the fuck did you just got someone to make a video about why The Last Jedi is the Citizen Kane of Star Wars? Do you know what you just wrought upon this?
I know. And I'm excited for it. I'm very excited for it. I want to see what's going to happen here. That's going to be something that is going to be a lot of fun. But there was a couple super chats that I definitely missed here. I want to get to real quick. Ryan Hartwell says here, let me know when you've deciphered the message. Just want to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens in the show. Thank you very much. So in the letter that Ryan sent me with the Gravity Falls set, there's he put down like a message I have to decipher. So like I said, he gave me homework. So that's great. HBart's here, $5. It says hashtag hold Ubisoft accountable. Don't buy their games, which has everything to do with like this movement, because apparently there's been like some abuse accusations or something that's happened as a result of not abuse. It's like just I haven't looked into it too much.
Oh, just bad worker practices.
Yeah, maybe they said they're gonna work on it, but then I guess like they haven't done anything like
that's
worthwhile.
Shitty.
Yeah, and that's something they need to work on. I'll agree. And then finally, Simon section here says, wasn't Matt Smith supposed to play Emperor Palpatine's son in Rise of Skywalker? Did they shoot any footage? I don't know who Matt Smith was supposed to play, but I do know that they did shoot the footage of him, and they shot it, and they didn't use any of it. There is probably a massive extended cut of the Rise of Skywalker out there. The problem with it is that Disney clearly just wanted to get it out and finish it and move away.
They don't want to be associated with it anymore. Mando's their success. They're going to take that as far as they can.
Yeah.
They don't need
Mando is like their
movies.
Exactly. Mando is like their big hit. I'm sure Cassian Andor is going to blow up this year. Look, the Bad Batch is doing really good right now. Even Dave Filoni said the other day, because fans were asking for more Clone Wars, and he's like, we hear you and we're listening, and it's like, cool. We're getting a lot more of an expanded universe, dealing with the time between the end of the Clone Wars and the beginning of the OT, as well as what's going to happen, between the OT and the sequel trilogy. So they're giving us a lot more Star Wars that's going to tie into it. And yeah, they are going to explain the sequel trilogy. They are going to do whatever they can to explain the sequel trilogy. So get ready for a lot of just very odd kind of, that's a very interesting reference to this seemingly unrelated thing, because they are going to do that, because I think that's going to end up being, they want to make sure that they didn't spend all that money on something that doesn't have legs and longevity.
If people don't have nostalgia for it, they'll make you have nostalgia for it somehow.
Pretty much on that one. Well, all right, guys, on that one, I am going to call it a night. I'm going to go and hook up this Xbox and set up some downloads before I pass out. Thank you very much, Andy, for coming on. Where can everyone find you?
YouTube.com/Underhaven. I'll put it in the chat right here. Go check that shit out. We talk about a lot of stuff on that channel. Some morons on the internet, some pop culture shit, politics occasionally, all types of stuff. So go check that out. And thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. I always enjoy chatting with you. And I appreciate you coming on like last minute. It was great. And then check it out. There's Underhaven right there. And real quick, Nightcrawler. Who's excited for the Patty Jenkins X-Wing movie? I am after Wonder Woman 84, not so much.
I'm skeptically optimistic. We'll see.
There we go. Yeah. I'm skeptically optimistic. That's a good one. I appreciate that. All right.